The Tennessee Titans are not far removed from the #1 overall pick in the draft, where they selected Cam Ward. Saw some ups and downs during his rookie season, but in order to maximize his potential and the team in general, they splashed a lot of cash in the offseason, spending big money on former Giant Cordell Flott, on former Giant Wan'Dale Robinson. They spent a lot of money, and they locked up Peter Skoronski on a long-term deal. I think he might be the highest paid guard in NFL history. That's kind of a fun one. But the team is still far from successful. They just spent a really, really high pick on a receiver, who I think will feature a lot during this rebuild in Carnell Tate. It should be a fun one as we try to win a Super Bowl with the Tennessee Titans. So let's talk about this roster. I also want to talk about franchise mode in general. Maybe I'll pop it up on the screen. But earlier I put out a tweet in response to an RBT tweet, if any of you guys watch them as well. And I'm basically just talking about how disappointing franchise mode has ended up being, because as always, it has a ton of potential and then they don't execute any of the ideas that they've talked about. And some of the things that are frustrating in Madden 27 franchise, and I'm sure you guys are gonna let me know more in the comments section below, and also live on Twitch. I happen to be recording this one live on twitch.tv/Bengal. Link, as it always is down in the description. And this is my tweet. Super frustrated, but stop me if you've heard this before. Madden franchise this year had great potential, but game-breaking bugs and glitches and poor design are doing a great job to ruin the entire experience. Players retiring at times that make no sense. Players signing unrealistic, gigantic contracts. And sometimes it is because of the void years, but void years also don't work as intended in the game. So you'll have these players signing gigantic, like 8-year contracts for like $800 million. And the void years don't even function correctly. Users not being able to sign players out of free agency despite having by far the best offers. Every contract negotiation, as you're probably going to see in this rebuild, forcing you to add extra years if you want the player, or make the bonus go up by 10%, subtract the salary by 4%, and then having to repeat that until their interest bar fills all the way up. Teams being massively over the cap and never fixing it. Now, we're going to find out very quickly, is this the case with every team in the game? No, but is this the case from day one? Okay, it looks like from day one, teams are in a decent spot. But I guarantee you, as soon as we get to the offseason, several teams will be over the cap, aka into the negative here, and it will never be fixed, which is insanely frustrating. You can't trade with those teams, and those teams really shouldn't be able to shouldn't be allowed to do anything. Teams restructuring huge contracts, leading to teams ending up even more over the cap. Massive problem. Teams not keeping the proper amount of players at each position. Even in Jets franchise in year one, I go in, try to make some trades. There are teams with 3 wide receivers on the entire roster, 3 corners on the entire roster. Ridiculous. Teams only will make trades when you simulate in the draft. It was supposed to be this huge thing. Oh, teams actually make the draft feel more real this year because they make trades when you're actively in the draft. Nope, they don't do it unless you simulate, and then you can find it in the transaction screen. Super dumb. And then the CPU will re-sign players for you if you don't handle it yourself. So if you simulate, let's say from week 1 to week 8, and during that time something pops up in the weekly hub about an extension, the CPU just goes, we'll just sign them for you. It's completely ridiculous. There are plenty more problems, but that's, I guess, a conversation for a different day. It's very, very frustrating. What's also frustrating is the lack of talent on this team. If you were a Titans fan, I would genuinely be disgusted by their strategy, which seems to be just bring in players from the Giants. That's not what you want to do. Have you seen these Giants teams? How do you look across and see the Giants? You're like, we sure could use some of those players. They bring in Daniel Bellinger. They bring in Wan'Dale Robinson. They bring in Cordell Flott. Now, these are some of the Giants' best players over these last few years, which isn't really a great sign. They bring in Brian Daboll as the offensive coordinator. But I do happen to like a lot of the players on this team for the future. I think Cody Barton's been an underrated guy for a long time now. Big shout out to Longhorn legend, friend of the channel, Ant Hill, hook him. Love Anthony Hill. Hope he has a defensive rookie of the year caliber season if Arvell Reese doesn't steal it. Longhorn legend Gunnar Helm also in here as well. And the offensive line actually is starting to look okay. We're probably going to start Andre James just because he's got star development. I don't think he really should have that, but he does. Got JC Latham, who's kind of an in-between type of player right now, but obviously larger than life at 6'6", 340. Really strong. Pass pro is a bit of a work in progress, but he should be great for us. We're absolutely going to end up extending him when the time comes. And then Dan Moore, I still think is probably the worst contract in the sport. Maybe something has overtaken it, but this one was awful when it got signed, and it's still awful now. It's over $20 million per year for Dan Moore, who is really exactly what it says above the normal development trait. He's a quality backup. This is not somebody you want starting, let alone a big addition in the offseason. He got a huge contract to just not be that good at left tackle. So that's kind of tough. Cordell Volson's not great either. I might start the rookie Fernando Carmona, who's got star development almost certainly. Kind of a fun player, and kind of liked him coming out. So we'll see what happens with him, but he's got starter potential. I'm probably just going to start him right away over Cordell Volson. And of course, the man of the hour is Cameron Ward. Young quarterback going into year 2. Good improvisational ability. Got a good arm. 91 throw power honestly feels slightly low, in my opinion. But he's capable of making some truly special plays. It's some of the more easier things that he needs to get better at. And then, of course, bring in Wandale. Carnell Tate was drafted at number 4 overall. I think he's looked pretty good in camp. We'll see if that translates to his rookie season. But definitely a really solid player at Ohio State. And then the argument is that wouldn't anybody as a wide receiver 2 look good when they're playing on the other side of Jeremiah Smith, who generates as much attention as he does? But I think Carnell Tate individually is quite good. We're going to end up playing Anthony Hill for sure in year 1. Might be a sub linebacker. Definitely going to play over Mohamed Diabate, but maybe even over Cody Barton as well, who we could potentially trade. Got Amani Hooker. I like Kevin Winston. If he can stay healthy, he could be a very good player. They signed Alante Taylor also to a big contract. It's another very interesting one. He's looked pretty good in the slot at times, but he's getting like kind of big money. 3 years, $44.5 million with a bonus north of $13 million. He's going to have to play really, really well to live up to that contract. And then everyone was down on bringing in Keldrick Falk just because he's not this great pass rusher. But I think he's a little bit better than people give him credit for. And he's this great run defender. I think the value is going to be there even if he never posts a super high sack season. There's more to football than just how many sacks do you get. Jeffrey Simmons is incredible. They trade for Jermaine Johnson. I definitely want to start Oladejo because he's got star dev. He's a very good athlete. He's got big time potential. And I think he's going to be finally let to rush the passer this year in Tennessee. So that should be fun. And then defensively, John Franklin Myers is not really an edge rusher. He's more of an interior player, and he's great. He's one of the best interior defensive linemen in terms of rushing the passer in the league. That's like truly the case. He's only got 81 finesse moves in the game, but he was a perfect fit for this defense, exactly what they needed. And we could have Jermaine Johnson play left edge or Oladejo. We're going to figure it out, but there is absolutely something to work with this team. So I'm excited to see what we're going to be able to turn it into in a year or 2 or 3 or 4. I also kind of think that there could be more for Will Levis. We're going to use him in pocket presence and Cam Ward for bucket drop. Levis was always going to be a project QB. Probably shouldn't have gone as high as he did, which is the case for like every quarterback that ever gets drafted nowadays. But everything that you liked about him when he was coming out, you still like about him now. He's big, physical, very athletic, very good arm. Yeah, he's made some incredibly boneheaded decisions, giving me a lot of great Twitter content. Oh my goodness. He's made my my tweets pop off. Incredible stuff. I would love for him to be a starter again on, that reason alone. But also, like, what did you really expect? He was going to come in day one and it's like, wow, look how polished he is. It's the same thing for all these quarterbacks that get drafted, like Anthony Richardson. Now, I can understand some of you thinking he was never going to work out. I think that's a perfectly reasonable take, but it's like the Colts played the super project quarterback that they got right away, and then when he wasn't immediately consistent and awesome, they're like, what the hell, man? Our quarterback's broken. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Nobody gets a chance to develop anymore. I get you can't have an unlimited leash, but I don't know. Some of these guys could afford to actually sit for a little while and not just like have that be the narrative when they're drafted. Like, yeah, the plan is to sit him. And then the Raiders have said that about Mendoza. If Mendoza sits the entire year, I would be absolutely blown away. I think he's probably in the lineup by week 4. Like, that's what happens nowadays. Cam Ward was also thrown into the fire right away on a pretty bad Titans team. And he, I think, did what you expected him to do, which was show flashes. And, man, he talks like he's Kobe, so everyone thinks he's going to be good. They're like, oh, he's such a competitor. Yeah, you like it. He talks about wanting to, like, drill kids in the face and dodgeball or whatever. I'm all about it. And I think that you give him a few more weapons, you might actually see something crazy from Cam Ward. So I think if there was ever a time to spend big in free agency, you know, this was the time. Get him Wan'Dale Robinson to be a nice, like, security blanket type of safety net. Get him Carnell Tate at number 4 overall. Try to build up the offensive line. You know, I think if I were in a position of power, when I'd go crazy, I'd be a bad dictator. But you know, I think I would say, if you're going to draft a QB high, say, hey, the defense can wait. If your team truly sucks, I would say put all of your eggs in the offense basket, try to maximize the young quarterback, and then honestly worry about defense when the offense is a little bit more solidified. I know that seems like a crazy idea, but I want to see what I have, first and foremost. And 2, I want to maximize their confidence and potential in situation. And I think the Titans are starting to do a decent job of that. I get you can't completely avoid defense, and they haven't. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with this team. I will say, if anyone will take a huge jump in overall from low to high, I think it will be Nick Singleton. If anybody has a big chance to. He is a very good athlete, and I think could end up being the starter here somewhat soon if things roll a certain way, if the dice rolls a certain way. We'll see if that happens or not, but I think Nick Singleton's kind of a beast, and I think the Titans got him in the 5th round. It's worth a dart throw because he's such a good athlete with such, you know, great overall size. I don't know what the athleticism's like in the game, but his top end speed is about as good as you're going to find at the position. I get there are, you know, some that are faster, but, and also he's got great jumping ability. Wow. You know, I also didn't really talk about Chimere Dike or Alec Iomanner. I mean, these guys I imagine will end up playing more than Calvin Ridley. Maybe not. Like, DK, I guess, is kind of more of a return man. Maybe he takes a jump in year 2, but Iomanner can actually, like, play a little bit of receiver. He's kind of an interesting one. Slot is guaranteed for Wan'Dale, but it will be interesting to see where else, like, the final few line up. I'd imagine it's going to be Tate and Iomanner on the outside, but so is Calvin Ridley, and DK maybe plays the slot when Wan'Dale's not out there. I don't know. There's a lot to take in here. I think at receiver, we are going to trade Calvin Ridley. I'd rather just play everybody else, including Cam Ward's best friend, Xavier Restrepo. KJ Osborne's a Titan, if that matters to anybody. But at tight end, maybe some Texas bias here, whatever. Gunnar Helm should not have 78 speed because he ran his 40 on a sprained ankle and they forgot about it. He's faster than 78 speed. He's got to be faster. We've got to trade Tony Pollard, though. I will say that. We've got to do it. We got Joey Chestnut on the team. If we just put hot dogs on the other side of the end zone and then handed him the ball, we might be cooking. But I do think we're going to end up... Do we want to trade him now, preseason? I'm probably going to wait closer to the trade deadline. Maybe we can increase their value a little bit. Like if Calvin Ridley can be an 80 overall, maybe. The only difference between Ridley and Pollard for me is that Calvin Ridley is actively blocking players I'd like to develop underneath him if we start him, whereas Tony Pollard really isn't. Like Tajay Spears, I guess, is on the team, and I talked about Nick Singleton, but it's not like if I start Nick Singleton, he's going to have some incredible year and be this irreplaceable piece for me. I know I mentioned him in the intro-ish part that, hey, Nick Singleton could potentially have this great year. Now, he might not even really play. But I think the potential is there that he could end up being a starter, but it may never happen. It's a running back, right? It is tough to predict which of those guys will eventually get the opportunity and then pop off. But Pollard, 29 years old, final year of his deal. He really doesn't do anything for me. It would just be better to trade him. And I just don't really think I can develop Tajay Spears very much. 25 years old, veteran presence tag. Yeah, dude, how can you even debate that? His numbers have been like fairly putrid, I guess is a good word for it. Also, final year of his deal. This is why everybody kind of thought that the Titans might consider drafting Jeremiah Love. Obviously didn't get the chance to. Cardinals like, we're not even going to let you get the chance. Took him at number 3, which seemed like a crazy rumor. It was in my final mock draft, if I recall correctly, just because I was really trying to piece together what was going to happen. And the things that I thought the Cardinals could do really didn't line up for them at number 3. So I'm like, if they trade down, they've got some options. But if they don't trade down, they might not be able to find a trade partner. It is probably going to be Jeremiah Love at 3. Very interesting move overall. Again, I think I had that in my final mock, if I recall, but we've upgraded the team a little bit. Maybe I should have used Tony Pollard in training camp and tried to upgrade him and then traded him, but he's getting traded. If I can get back a second-round pick for Tony Pollard plus something else, oh, that would be absolutely incredible, but that might be wishful thinking. I'm on stream right now talking about trying to remember where Tony Adams played. I remember the Jets. I Google him. Titan safety Tony Adams ejected from practice for throwing punch at teammate. I might have a new starter. I like that type of tenacity. Get tenacious Tony Adams in the starting lineup stat over Amani Hooker. Hooker's got to patrol the corner anyway. It's Tony Adams time. A lot of T's. A lot of T's. Now, this is interesting. What a quarterback room. Cam Ward, Will Levis, Mitch Trubisky, and Hendon Hooker. Also, how does this team have 2 hookers? That seems crazy. What is Charlie Sheen the GM? This is out of control. So this will be the team for season number 1. I don't expect it to be a playoff team. I expect to be trading a lot of players in this one, but not right now. I guess playing Calvin Ridley in that 3rd spot makes the most sense. If he can get up to like an 80 overall, that'd be great. And then I can trade him. And then Ioman, or we'll have somebody fill in, Chimere DK. Defensively, I am going to put Oladejo over Jermaine Johnson, I think. And that's nothing away from Jermaine Johnson. He's just not really going to be able to develop at all here in Madden. In real life, could be a fine player. Has never really developed as a pass rusher, but is a good athlete, good against the run. I think it's a fairly good representation of what he looks like in real life in the game. And Oladejo is just super athletic, better dev trait, way younger. He's just got to play over him. Jacob Martin is Titan now. And to get excited about that. In the draft, that'll be an interesting thing. We got a lot of options. Ant Hill will be playing probably over Cody Barton for me. I like Cody Barton. He's just 29. And if we're only going to play 2 linebackers, it's going to be the 2 younger star dev players to get Anthony Hill, hopefully Defensive Rookie of the Year. That would be sweet. And then Cedric Gray, also, yeah, younger, 23 years old, star dev, just put up like 170 tackles or something last year. I feel like it was crazy. And we are actually going to start Amani Hooker over Tony Adams. Sorry, Tenacious Tony. That nickname will not catch on, I'm sure. and I will see you guys at the midseason mark. I am expecting bad things. Falk also will be a rush end over Jermaine Johnson, so don't worry about that. You never like to see this. Does Simmons believe in this team? You know what it is. You've been a Titan your whole career. I guess you know what? The Titans have been good when Jeffrey Simmons has been here. Here's the deal, Big Jeff. Ain't shit gonna change. You're gonna just have to be mad. Sorry. He's frustrated. Oh no. It is what it is, right? We are 2-5. We do have some interesting wins, though, on the schedule so far. Well, 2 of them. But it was a week 1 win. And then, most notably, a 23-6 smashing of the division rival Houston Texans. I don't know if this team finishes with more than, like, 6 or 7 wins. But beating the Texans by that much is interesting, if nothing else. But we're reviewing the trade block ahead of the deadline. And you know what? We're going to add Cody Barton to the trade block. But we're also probably going to look to make individual moves. The problem with the trade block, as I talked about in a recent video, I think in Jets franchise, you can add players to the trade block. That's fine. The offers that you will get always feature a player and not just picks. If I'm looking to trade guys ahead of the trade deadline, it's because we're bad. I'm looking to play for the future, and I'll show you for example here. If I were to trade Tony Pollard, this is what the offers would look like for Tony Pollard, and we're going to see it next week anyway. It's all going to be stuff like this. Hey, what about 30-year-old Brad Chubb? What about Evan Ingram? Garrett Williams is actually kind of interesting, but it's all stuff that doesn't really make sense for us for the most part. Oh, wow. 33-year-old Javon Hargrave. Sounds sick. Jalen Hawkins actually could be a sick Raven, but he's 29. Like, he's not going to help us out. Garrett Williams is actually a super interesting one, but only normal dev. 25 years old. It's kind of like adding another Cordell Flott in a way. Which, that's not the worst thing. It's probably a small upgrade over Joshua Williams. Maybe we'll revisit that. Maybe so. But it's not necessarily in the cards. I'm also going to add who? I'm going to add Calvin Ridley to the trade block. Amani Hooker. I think Cody Barton we just put there. But also Tajay Spears, man. We might just punt on running back this year. Play Nick Singleton, and then see if we can draft somebody. Like, they're usually pretty good running backs in the draft. Not amazing, but guys you can actually play and develop. And the Cardinals trading for running back is also brain dead. Sign Tyler Algier, have James Conner, draft Jeremiah Love at 3. But I think the missing piece could be Tony Pollard. Everyone's been saying it. See where we are with this one. I think this would be a good trade for us. It's not quite there. Commanders obviously could use a running back in Jermaine Johnson. They're looking for a left edge. All right. Let me test a quick theory I have. What if Jermaine Johnson was no longer a right edge, but a left one? Would you reconsider? We also use an upgrade point. Jermaine Johnson's now a 78 overall and a left edge. They're significantly less interested. I'm confused. But then back at right edge, they accept the trade now that he's a 78 overall. I wonder if there's something in the game that says, okay, it's a team need. So if you're being offered a team need, they have to be a significant enough upgrade or high enough overall to actually have interest. But if it's not a team need, it doesn't matter as much. Either way, I think obviously what we saw here today is that's incredibly stupid. Either way, I'll take the trade. Pollard and Jermaine Johnson to the Commanders for a second-round pick. Is it the most realistic trade? It's a good trade for us. Yeah. That trade's accepted. Tajay Spears, Calvin Ridley headed to help out Drake May and the Patriots. And, they're going to rejoin Mike Vrabel. Maybe not Calvin Ridley, but Tajay Spears, I think, and Mike Vrabel have some crossover. And it's not cheating to add former players that you have a familiarity with. So They don't have to worry about any bounty gate or spy gate or any type of gate. Tajay Spears, Calvin Ridley are Patriots. We're trading a future 4th to get a future 2nd. Hopefully the Patriots are bad next year, but I think that's the only other trade I'm going to make. We're going to hold on to Cody Barton, who's under contract for the next 2 seasons, and also Amani Hooker, who's under contract for the next 3. I don't know how good he's actually going to be and how well he'll develop, but those are all the trades we're going to make. Could we get something back for tenacious Tony Adams? Maybe so, but probably not going to be worth the time. So we're going to keep things as they are. I'm not going to talk to Jeffrey Simmons again. I don't want to tell him, hey, we're still going to continue to suck. We actually just committed to getting worse. But it's actually, I know it appears that way, it's actually a commitment to getting better long term. Could Tajay Spears be the next big deal? Maybe. What I will remind you of, game, is that he actually is not even on our team anymore. He's a Patriot. I'll bite, though. I am curious. All right, we can't negotiate with Tajay Spears. And how about back to the main menu? All right, you know what? All right. Well, they definitely did change the value of playbooks in Madden franchise, but the Cowboys go from going 8-2 at this start every single season to now they're 2-8 with an 85 overall team. It's just so ridiculous. Not to say that the Cowboys couldn't be 2-8, although if Dak Prescott's healthy, I would be blown away by that record. 2-8 would be crazy, I think, for the Cowboys, but we'll see. This is interesting. Now, they said that playbooks don't matter as much, and now it's about like team strength. I don't believe them at all. I want to make that extremely clear. I don't believe them because I've seen it, and I really think it's mostly random, as the Jags are 5-5 with an 81 overall. I know they're a different team than the Cowboys, but it just seems a little bit interesting. We're 2-8. I would love to lose out. It's crazy that these are still on the screen after we have traded away both players. Man. Every year, this game has got potential. The minor glitches and bugs, like this is a little bit annoying, but it's not really a deal breaker. The other stuff I talked about at the top of the video are deal breakers. So this is a little bit annoying, a little bit frustrating, but you can live with it. But that being said, it's still stupid that it's in the game. And even it's little stuff like this, too, that kind of hurts everything. View playoff picture. See who, question mark inside of a box, like Portuguese C looking thing, like Scandinavian, Swedish looking O with the 2 dots on top, and then an S. See who sus in all caps if the season ended too. That almost is close to a sentence in some language. Anyway, we'll look at the draft class. We got some focus players to decide on. We would consider drafting edge. I would say there's a remarkable amount of quarterbacks here at the top. That's 2 at the very top, and then 4 from 7 to 11. And then 2 more at 14 and 15. This might be the best quarterback class in the history of the NFL. If there's going to be this many quarterbacks, 9 that could go first round. That is what you would call absolutely absurd, I would say. But you know, never know, I guess. We would finish with just 4 wins. There was actually a time post trading players that we started to win games for some reason, which, I mean, typically I'd be stoked about, but, you know, we're not really trying to win because I want that pick to be a bit better right now, selfishly. We did beat the Jags and Commanders, though, and then lost out. So we really locked it at the end of the year there because these players are not real. They're not really fighting for their jobs because it's not a job here. They're under my control. Cam Ward, 4,300 yards, 22 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. You don't see all of the rushing numbers here because obviously we had Tony Pollard. We had Tajay Spears. None of them are here. So in terms of team rushing yards, we probably finished higher. than what is being currently shown. Carnell Tate had 144 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Okay. If Carnell Tate puts up 140 yards rushing this year, I'll give 50 subs to the Twitch chat. Make sure to remind me when that never happens. But Nick Singleton was the leading rusher, I guess, technically. What an awful season. Receiving. Okay. The receiving numbers were quite good. Is Wan'Dale Robinson one of the best receivers in the league now? Many are asking. This is an Amon-Ra St. Brown type of year. 113 catches, 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, 97 yards per game. Carnell Tate, what a rookie season. 1,100 yards receiving on 94 catches, 5 touchdowns. Even Gunnar Helm was quite productive outside of the 1 touchdown. Cedric Gray also posted a wild year, 127 tackles, 13 for loss, 6 sacks. A lot of TFLs in this team. Oladejo led the way with 14. Falk and John Franklin Myers were tied. 13 for Gray, of course. 12 and 9 for Jeffrey Simmons and Solomon Thomas, who ended up playing a lot. And then it's a double-digit sack season for Oluwafemi Oladejo. 9 for Jeffrey Simmons, 6 for Falk and Gray. And then we probably didn't have many interceptions. We didn't. Just the 2 safeties with 1 apiece. Very disappointing. But I think I kind of saw what I wanted to see out of a 4-win team here. Our defense was highly productive in some ways, and our offense was highly productive through the air. 11th most pass yards per game, even though we were dead last in rushing. 30th in points. Our defense actually wasn't so bad, despite being destroyed on the ground. Averaging over 120 yards per game allowed on the ground. And we've actually got like a pretty good front 7. So a little peculiar, I would say. And there's Zach Bond again, putting up wild numbers. He's not a pass rusher. Cam Scattaboo, by the way, was 1,700 yards. I didn't say everything was unrealistic, so at least they got that right. And we will simulate to the offseason. We're going to have a high pick. We've also got an extra second this year and next year. So we are in line to make this team quite good. And oh my goodness, it is a Super Bowl rematch. Patriots, Falcons. Will the Falcons get their redemption? Will the Patriots get Super Bowl redemption after losing to Seattle last year? A lot of storylines heading into this one. And the results are in. The Falcons get redemption. Unbelievable. 13-7, Jesse Bates wins Super Bowl MVP. Dak wins league MVP. John Harbaugh, Coach of the Year. Okay, that's realistic. And then the Rams sweep Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year. Yet lost probably to the Falcons in the playoffs. So that's a tough scene. Mekhi Lemon and David Bailey are your Rookies of the Year. And Devontae Adams wins Offensive Player of the Year and then immediately retires. He really went out on top, I guess. But it's interesting that that can happen. And Stafford's gone too. Which that one's not weird. But Devontae Adams wins Offensive Player of the Year and then immediately hangs up the cleats. Like, not all of these are weird, but like, some of the retirements, huge problem. Like, I can kind of rationalize like quite a few of these. Like, they could just happen. It would surprise me on some as well. What's like the strangest one in here? This is not going to happen. Travis Achan, so I'm getting used to pronouncing that, signs a big contract with the Saints and then plays 1 season in New Orleans, is like, yeah, no thanks. Immediately retires. Andrew Wiley, I mean, Derrick Henry, some of these do make sense, but they've got to fix this, man. I mean, what's the logic on some of these? Isaiah Pacheco's not as weird as it would seem because of where the interest is probably going to end up being with him, but I mean, the Achan one is insane. And obviously, like, most of these will not happen. Almost all of them, probably. But you can at least rationalize them. Some of these are, I mean, out of control bad. The Achan one, though, is, I think, all-time terrible. Okay, JC Latham looking for a contract extension. We just declined his 5th-year option. He's looking only for a 2-year deal. Probably. I'd like to sign him for a lot longer than that, but I know already going into this negotiation that he is going to be, like, looking for more years and more bonus. And his interest starts at 18%. Well, then why start me with that offer if I raise it completely and it's not even close? That's crazy. And this is just so bad, I would say. I mean, I'll give you an extra year. How do you feel about that? 30%. But he's team first at least. Hey, the current value is great. He's going to hate this. He is team first. He's going to hate this. His interest actually shot up, even though he hates the money. But, hey, you're going to play a lot, man. All right, he's out on that. I could add a year until it's a 15-year contract for JC Latham. But we'll probably just have to keep raising the bonus to get any type of interest. 4% bonus bump. We got about 70 million in cap space. More bonus. That's just what it has to do. That's what you have to do. And then we can pitch usage as a value play. Not quite. We're going to keep reinforcing the fit. We'll negotiate at another time. And then Jeffrey Simmons wants to talk about how bad everything is. But here's what's going to happen. We are going to raise the team to an 82 overall. He's going to be all about that. Now, if we don't do that, I am very curious about the consequences, but we can't be too far away because Madden franchise mode likes to hold the hands of every team. Nobody's bad. Everyone's an 80 overall. So getting to an 82, you think wouldn't really be that difficult. However, the difference is that you can't actually really sign anybody in free agency, I've learned. You have to give them, I mean, an insane overpay, although sometimes it could be worth it. Jonathan Taylor, we could steal from the Colts. Same for Quentin Nelson, I guess. Would be huge upgrades. Now, Jonathan Taylor is 28. But he's such a high overall that I don't think it would really matter. Brian Branch would be a starter. I mean, basically everybody would be. The fact that George Pickens is also a slot archetype is, I mean, completely wrong, I would say. But there are actually some very intriguing options in free agency. I mean, I think offering Jonathan Taylor at least makes a lot of sense. Try to bring back JC Latham. He likes team first. We're going to reinforce the fit. How do you like it this week? Yeah. He just took a week off and we're like, how about the same deal? And he's like, yes, it's hard to refuse that offer. I'm back. Dreamed of playing for the Tennessee Titans. And it's hard to fault that. We do have some upgrades. Getting Jonathan Taylor would take us to the 82 overall. That's a guarantee. You can see the development traits revealed. Wandale is up to superstar dev. That's very nice. And then defensively, I don't see any dev trait changes, but I do see a lot of skill points that we can use. And that, I mean, Oladejo's got 6. Keldrick Falk has 4. We're about to take a pretty significant jump. Anthony Hill has 7. We're about to take a huge jump up in the overall department. We do need a center as well. But stealing JT from the Colts could be huge. He's looking for $18 million a year minimum, and he wants a 4-year contract. So 32 years old. I would honestly like to start at 3 years. I just don't think it's going to be possible. And then we're going to have to bump the total salary up significantly to even probably get in the door here. I'd give you $10 million per year with a no trade clause. I will guarantee 2 of the years and bump up the total bonus to $36 million. I think that's a pretty good starting point. Even $11 million in terms of yearly salary. That's 100%. He's interested. Yes, it's a long contract for a 28-year-old running back, but he's not going to dip below 90 overall probably. And it would be such a major improvement to what is a very important Madden simulating position. And also, Jonathan Taylor's a beast. Would be a great player to add to our backfield, which was the worst running attack in football this past season. We could also try to get Brian Branch. Now, some of these are going to get very expensive. George Pickens is interesting. I mean, Sam Laporta could be a heck of a player. Before offering any of these big contracts, though, I do kind of want to check out what our options may be in the draft, because that could definitely change things. Like DeMarcus Kirkland out of Ohio State, which is arguably wide receiver U right now. LSU obviously in the conversation as well. Texas trending that way. But it's obviously Ohio State and LSU as, you know, the 1A, 1B right now. Top 5 talent in the draft. That could be our pick. Wide receiver back-to-back years. Hey, that works out well. Talk to the mid-2000s Lions. Noah Riddle is a round 1 to 2 guy at tight end. This was kind of the one I was looking for. 6'6", 270. Vertical threat with great speed. Or good to great speed, I think. But we could go Sam Laporta if the price is right. So, do we know about any other top 5 talents or just the receiver? This changes things potentially. Josh Nobles is a running back who is a top 5 talent. Does this stop me from going after Jonathan Taylor? I don't think it does. We could get both, or we could get none. But I think ideally Josh Nobles does get drafted by us. He's got elite to great change of direction. A juke move is usually a very good indicator of talent in this game. A ball carrier vision. It could just be a weak draft, or he could actually be a very good player. Not necessarily generational, but could be near an 80 overall. Which, is that better than paying Jonathan Taylor all that money? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see. I think this would be a very good deal for Sam Laporta. He's looking for $15.5 million. I mean, we're just going to amp up the bonus. We have money right now. My face cam's covering it up, but we have $46.7 million in cap space. And I think that's being factored in with the offer we made to Jonathan Taylor. Now, his playoff contender is critical. Which, oh, dude, remember when that was going to play a big factor and then they completely changed free agency with motivations? I didn't even think about that. I guess forget about all that's going on, but I guess he does like playoff contender. It's a critical deal breaker. So what do we have to do? We have to do the Jaguars thing. Overpay. The Titans, some are saying, are just the Jaguars of Nashville. I don't know. Somebody has said that, maybe. All right, that's going to be the maximum interest. It's a big deal. But Laporta would be a huge upgrade, even though Gunnar Helm is about to break records in real life, but we can't worry about that. I don't think it's going to be worth it to go after Quentin Nelson. Would we play with Ezra Cleveland, though? I played Counter-Strike with him. Could I play Madden with him? An interesting thought. It's a very niche thing. I think we probably should try to bring in a center. I think Lloyd Cushenberry was a Titan and not that great of one. But the other options are just not very good. I mean, Ezra Cleveland to play center, no one's really that interested in him. I kind of thought he just signed a big contract with Jacksonville, but here he is as a free agent. Maybe it's expired already. I'll give you a 2-year deal. I'll give you mostly what you're looking for, and he is grounded supposedly. We're going to explain to him why the contract he hates is actually good. Yeah, listen here, dummy. I'll reduce your salary and add a year. How good does that sound? He's like, yeah, dude, that's awesome. Please choose the value path. You will be a starter at center. How about more bonus, less salary? I've never tried that before. He just wants more money. How about increase the bonus by 10% and take the salary down by 3%? Hey, we're going to walk you through it. I know you don't like it, but can you like it? Nope, he's not liking it. I'll raise the salary by 8%. He's close. All right, let's push back and trim the bonus by 5%. Didn't really do anything. Let's walk him through the full value. It's been the same offer. It's been the same offer for 3 different prompts in a row. And he's like, yeah, dude, that's actually great now. The negotiations for the contracts have potential. The implementation is just not good. We're good at linebacker. I think we're good at corner after spending so much money, but Dax Hill is here. And that is intriguing. And then safety, I think, is okay for now. I'm not giving Ronnie Hickman 10 mil per year. Certainly not Isaiah Simmons. Antonio Johnson is maybe more intriguing. But I think we're going to be good with Amani Hooker for right now. And that's pretty much what's going to happen right now. So let's go ahead and jump into our active negotiations. Going after Cleveland, Laporta, and Taylor. We'll see where we are in the next hour. Well, we did get Ezra Cleveland. As expected, we did not get the others. The deal is Jonathan Taylor is a Bengal, as is Brian Branch, as is Sam Laporta, as is Parker Washington. There's no way this team's not going to be over the cap by $100 million next year. How did they possibly pull that off? We got Ezra Cleveland, sick. I mean, it's insane. Also, best guard combo in the league in Quentin Nelson and Chris Lindstrom. That's sick. I'm investing in Bijan Robinson. Hook him. So right now, the Bengals do have cap room. Next year, when Jamar Chase's cap hit goes from $33 million to $41 million and then $53 million, I'm going to be very curious to see what that number says. And when Joe Burrow's cap hit goes from $54 million all the way up to $55.9 million, then $60 million, I'll be interested to see where they are. There is absolutely no way they could afford that. They gave Jonathan Taylor a 6-year contract. It's got to be void years in there. Maybe not even void years. I don't know. That's weird. I mean, the game is weird. There's no way they can afford this. Because the Sam Laporta cap hit for this season is just $7.4 million. There's no way it's going to be that next year. Up to 10 and then 12. There's no... I mean, I offered way more than this, I think. I don't know. And I guess this is how it happens. This is how a team goes negative $80 million in cap room. I'm telling you, we're going to pull up the Bengals here in a little bit. And there's no way they're going to be able to afford that stuff. But this does change our draft approach now. We could steal Chase Brown, who, by the way, the Bengals hit with the transition tag only to sign Jonathan Taylor. I mean, not impossible, but a little bizarre. And then, I mean, we're really just only going after a running back because it was a great running back. Not that we have a great one right now, but I think we are going to draft one. This was interesting. And then I don't know that there's going to be a better tight end. There's not really. So our free agency is going to be over. We got Ezra Cleveland, which again, I think is an underrated move that does make us a lot better right now. Because we've got a new starter at center. We're going to develop Fernando Carmona. Skoronski is here, who should probably be higher than an 84 overall at this point, but he's not. He probably should be like an 88, maybe. And then Ezra's going to play center, which he's done before. And the offensive line's coming together. We just re-signed J.C. Latham. We need a left tackle badly because Dan Moore is not it. But things are coming together. And even with Io Manor and Chimere Dike, we probably could consider drafting receiver. This draft could be interesting. I'd love to trade down and get 2 first-round picks. But I'm not going to commit to anything. We'll see what happens. Sheldon Chaney was a round 1 talent. Now it says top 5. And so we know, and the other receiver was top 5, and now we know it's not going to let me look at it, annoyingly. Yeah, round 1 should be all the way in the middle there when I'm sorting by it, whatever. But Kirkland was a top 5 talent and now is showing just round 1. So He is obviously going to be tied overall-wise with the defensive tackle. So we know he can't be the best player in the draft. And we know the other guy can't be the best defensive player in the draft, Chaney. So Nobles still could be. He's actually not even the number one running back, supposedly. Josh Madrano is looking to be number one. But these power backs, I feel like, are a dime a dozen. It's so difficult to tell, you know, Josh Madrano, who's supposedly a first-round talent, apart from Josh Chambers, who could go day 3. And honestly, at first glance, looks better. And his solid speed was a 4.38 at his pro day and a 4.42 at the NFL Combine. That is not solid speed for a running back. That is elite, borderline elite speed for a running back. So some of the draft class logic and all that stuff is just so bizarre. And I'm going to use the word bizarre to be nice. But it just doesn't seem like they know how it works. A top 5 talent could be at quarterback. I wouldn't know because we have a QB. Obviously, we're going to rock with Cam Ward for this one. But I think Josh Nobles has a pretty good chance to be the number 1 player in the draft, or close to it. I also think there's a chance that there could be a punter as the number 1 player. A kick accuracy and great kick power could just be a very good overall. So he could be a top player. We're going to probably end up drafting a punter. But we've got 1 pick in the first round right now. And that's going to be top 3. Oh, it's the number 1 pick. Oh, this changes things. No team won fewer than 4 games. That typically doesn't happen in Madden Sim. We've got the number 1 pick, which is tremendous information to find out. Even winning those 2 random games didn't change anything. So here's what we're going to do. Is absolutely trade down. We're gonna screw a team over horrendously. Listen, Jets, Cardinals, you guys want to draft a quarterback? It's gonna cost you at number 1 overall. It's gonna cost you a lot. So we're gonna screw over a team and reap the rewards and get really good. I'm super excited for that. This is best case scenario because there are multiple players I'd like to draft in the first round. The really frustrating thing is the game knows I want Josh Nobles. So they projected him to me at number 1 overall. This sucks because now I have no idea where he actually would have gone. And it becomes a complete guessing game. We know Sheldon Chaney's going to go at number 5. I mean, almost certainly. Things could change if we trade. And then if we want a receiver, which DeMarcus Kirkland could be the guy, we know he's very good. That could be the move, you know, somewhere closer to 10. We know the Jets have the number 2 pick, the number 9 pick, and the number 19 pick. I think I might be taking those. I think those might be my picks now. NFL draft time. We have the number 1 overall pick, and the calls are coming in. What are the offers? Well, the Saints are throwing around a couple of first-round picks already. The Raiders would give us 2 first-round picks. The Jags are trying to make that inter-division trade and maybe up for a QB. They like drafting QB over Trevor Lawrence in this game, despite the contract extension. 2 first-round picks and a second. I'm just not really itching to trade with them. The Dolphins would give us 3 first-round picks. And the Browns would give us a couple of first-round picks. I'm going to see what the Jets are looking to do, because that would make things a lot easier for me. If I couldn't get 3 firsts from them, I still could consider 2 first-rounders and maybe something else. I kind of would like Kirkland and the receiver, or excuse me, and the running back. Noble's expected to go somewhere at the back end of the first round. He's not even the number 1 back on the board anymore, but he could still get drafted ahead of Madrano. So it puts us in an interesting spot. I need these QBs to fly off the board. The problem is they're unlikely to. There are going to be a lot that lasts until the first couple of picks of the 3rd round. But we are going to look to make a trade here. What's it going to be for the Jets? The Jets and Titans have weirdly made a lot of trades recently, with T'Vondre Sweat and Jermaine Johnson and Jarvis Brownlee. Give me 2, 9, and 19 for 1. That's a fair deal to move up for your franchise quarterback, Jets. They're not loving it. Okay. I still would like to have 2, though. Is there anything I can give you to sweeten the deal? I've got 33, which I guess I'd be okay parting with. Got 65. This is not going to go through. I'm going to have to give up a more valuable pick, probably 33, and then maybe even then it wouldn't go through. But I really am actually considering, and highly considering, drafting the defensive tackle. And I like defensive tackle. Jeffrey Simmons isn't getting any younger, but he's also great. I do like John Franklin Myers, but the game only gave him normal development. They didn't make him an elite pass rusher. And he's 30 years old. So drafting defensive tackle could actually be a pretty good decision for us. The only thing stopping me from taking Chaney inside the top 5 is, one, we know he's not a top 4 player in the draft, or top 3. We know he's, at least tied for that number 5 overall spot. And you can find defensive tackle down the board pretty easily. So we might just want to stick to the initial plan. I've got to find a way to get that running back, because it's such a weak point on this team. Is there any other team that has multiple first-round picks in a good range for me? It really just seems to be the Jets with 3. And I want to say in real life there is another team that has 2 this year, but I'm not seeing them at first glance. Maybe the Browns have they have 2 firsts. Maybe that's where we want to go. What did they offer? They offered 7 and 16 already, as well as a 3rd and a 5th. Can I get more out of them? See, it'd be cool to have active negotiations more so than free agency, but in the trade. Like, I'd love for teams to say, that's good for us right away, or, hey, maybe not, maybe counter, maybe what about this? And maybe we say something like, hey, this is your franchise quarterback on the line. Are you willing to let him go to somebody else over an extra 3rd round pick? And then they'd be like, you know what? You're right. We're not willing to do that. Could we model something after like the DJ Moore, Bryce Young trade, where the Panthers traded a ton of high-end picks, including the number 1 overall pick that became Caleb Williams and DJ Moore, in order to get Bryce Young? Could I get a top-end player? I don't know. I mean, Carson Swessinger would be sick. Doesn't really fit. Honestly, the Browns don't really have anybody that makes a ton of sense for me. Like, I don't want Jerry Jeudy. That's not the receiver that's going to change things for us. Zion Johnson, though, actually could be a fit. But I'm really looking for more of a tackle than a guard at this point. So, maybe not. They don't really have that. Like, they're not going to trade Spencer Fano. Could I get it to happen in the game? Yeah, probably. But I'm not going to go for that. It's very interesting when I decide to err on the side of realism versus not. I want number 39 as well. And you know what? A second next year. Is this going to be too much for number 1, or do they accept it? They don't. Well, what about instead of 2 second-round picks, I also get your first round next year, and then it's 3 ones. Okay, there is something here. They're looking for that QB. It's not cheap. What about Cam Ward? No, I'm just kidding. Is there a receiver you want? I'd give you Alec Iomanner. I'd do that. I might draft a receiver right now anyway. Do you like Alec Iomanner? You do. It's going to be Alec Iomanner and number 1 overall for the Browns. 2 first-round picks this year and a first-round pick next year. And the Cleveland Browns are officially on the clock at number 1. We will advance to the next user pick. Off the board, Sheldon Chaney actually goes earlier than we expected. He goes number 4 to Washington. And even though it hasn't updated, which is another annoying thing that makes the draft feel not real at all, they take an edge rusher. They need a quarterback. The Browns do. And they take an edge rusher at 1. What are they doing? Okay. No other draft trades inside the top 7. And, I mean, we could consider another slight trade back. Is there anything we'd want to do here? I mean, the picks probably have us moving just too far down the board. So I think this is a spot where we probably would consider the receiver. But at that point, could a lot of these round 1 receivers be like also tied in terms of overall? Maybe they could be. Because at first glance, I don't know that DeMarcus Kirkland looks like the best of them all. Cole Hayward looks pretty good. Not really much of a deep route runner, though. And, I mean, Derek Short is interesting. This might take some thinking. All right, we decided on DeMarcus Kirkland. He is 23 years old, but we're going to combine the Ohio State connection here in Tennessee. B catching traffic, B deep route running, C release. He's got elite acceleration, great change of direction, ran a 4.38 at his pro day. Skills-wise, looks very good, looks very well-rounded. DeMarcus Kirkland will be the pick. He is ranked at number 7. We got him at number 7. Looks the ball into his hands. Shows great concentration catching in traffic, even though he needs to work on simple concentration drops according to the initial scouting report. And catches will regularly make top 10 highlight reels. It's interesting that will is not capitalized, but regularly is, and then everything else is. He has hidden development. I don't know why I got such a bad feeling that it was going to be normal. 91 speed, 93 change of direction, 94 acceleration to go with 89 agility and jumping. I think this was the right call. DeMarcus Kirkland is the pick. We are DeMarcus Kirkland, even though it says he's going to the Browns. He will be a Tennessee Titan. And now we've really got to think about where this running back could go, because we know it says end of round 1. We know that. Will he be available at our next pick, which is at 16? I think so, but it's one of those things that actually kind of scares me for some reason. But would I trade up? I mean, maybe if he gets to Denver, maybe I would consider it. Again, I don't really expect to see him get drafted, but have players gone, earlier than I've thought before? Yeah. And he has made it to the Broncos pick. If I can get this for, essentially nothing, I'm going to try and do it here. I know running back's not a team need. Doesn't matter. They'll just do whatever. We've got 16, 33, 36, 65, 97. And I kind of do like some of these late round picks. And I give them a player. Not really much at tight end. You know what? I actually could. I could send Cody Barton back there. Final year of his deal for me. He's not really playing so much. I'd rather just draft a random guy. And we have James Williams, former safety, who could play. How about a round 1 and Cody Barton for your current 1 and future 2? I'll take a future 3. Take a 3rd next year. I think that's a good deal for both sides, and they're not all the way in on it yet. I really do want that future 3, though. What if I gave you a future 5, and then it's like a slight trade up for us? That's not going to be accepted. What about a future 6 added on? That's going to be accepted. So Barton's headed back to Denver. We are trading number 16, a 5th, and a 6th for number 13 and a future 3rd. And with this pick, we will be drafting what could be the best player in the draft, Josh Nobles out of Florida. It's a good running back school. Currently, Jaden Baugh, I think, is the best running back in college football. I wouldn't hate it if you told me, Ahmad Hardy or, Isaac Brown or Hollywood Smothers. There are a number of other guys who are quite talented as well. Mark Fletcher. Again, we could name these guys all day. It's a good running back group right now. But Josh Nobles will be the pick. Fred Taylor, another great one all time. Josh Nobles has great acceleration, good agility, elite change of direction, great jumping, good speed. 4.4 flat at his pro day. That's pretty good. And Josh Nobles is a Tennessee Titan. He's a number 3 player in the draft. We got him at 13. Dangerous open field juke moves. Will utilize spin to avoid defenders. Shows great contact balance to break tackles. Normal development for the top 5 talent. If he wins Rookie of the Year, though, it's going to jump up in a hurry. But also, he's a running back. He's probably not going to perform well if the overall is not crazy. So getting a big jump up to Superstar Dev for Rookie of the Year seems unlikely. But you never know. He is the number 3 player in the draft. We got him at 13. So I'm excited about that. And I think, unless there's anybody else, I think we're going to try and simulate to the second round here. There were a couple of players that I liked the look of, like Marquise Thomas, but we can wait on that. And, I mean, Deshaun Clifton, we can probably wait on that. Benji Butler is a 6'5" corner with A-man, A-press. Okay, maybe I didn't look at cornerback well enough. We're going to be drafting some corners. I've just decided. The call has been made. It's going to be happening. So Mike Widener looks sick. B block shed, B tackle, A zone, C pursuit, elite speed. I mean, day 2 might be the move for us right now. There are some very, very interesting players. I mean, sometimes it is the case that I prefer having these day 2 picks. So I do like some of the players still available. Cole Hayward, Derek Short. I don't think we're going to draft another receiver. I don't expect to draft another running back right now. I could expect to draft one maybe day 2, day 3. There's some good power options. But I think we are fairly safe to simulate unless I think Noah Riddle absolutely needs to be drafted. I honestly kind of do, is the thing. So is he going to be somebody that falls into the second round? Typically that top tight end goes in round 1. So if we want him, it might have to be now, or he's already even been drafted and I didn't notice. But he is still available. Nah, man, I've got some decisions to make, huh? All right, I pushed my luck. The Niners, I didn't think would take a tight end because they had George Kittle. And Noah Riddle is off the board. I guess the team need is tight end. They need depth. Kittle and Riddle. All right. Well, there are some decent looking tight ends down the board that are fairly intriguing. We've got 33 and 36 in this round. And of the highest overall known talents, it's Cole Hayward, who, again, I like. I think he looks quite good. But probably just not worth the pick for us because we have Wandale, a first-round receiver, and Carnell Tate. So I think, honestly, our best move might be trading down in a spot like this. Which sounds crazy because we have, you know, a lot of good picks. But here's the thing. 4-5-7 at defensive tackle? Okay, now I'm confused. 6'5", 289, ran in the 4.5s. A, finesse moves, B, block shed. I might have to pivot. I'm going to go Reggie Felder. He does look absolutely ridiculous. I'm pivoting. He's the number 39 ranked player. We got him at 33. Effective at shedding blocks in the run game. Well-planned rush approach with arsenal of finesse moves. Plays with good football IQ and recognition. He's got hidden dev, 86 speed, 85 strength, 79 acceleration. So acceleration's his bad thing? I mean, he's kind of freaky. I think that's worth the pick. Future John Franklin Myers replacement. And then maybe we trade down from 36. There are good players here, but if I can get multiple second rounders or a second and a third, I think I'd be all over that. I do think Widener looks very good. So maybe we wouldn't be able to wait on him. And I just traded Cody Barton. But I also want some of these elite looking corners. And Max Duckworth also looks very good at linebacker. I usually don't do this much talking during the draft, but we've had a lot to think about. We've really had a ton to think about. I just also, out of nowhere, decided to take that defensive tackle, that was a panic pick. I don't think I've ever really done that before, but that was a pure and simple panic pick. There were no plans at all to do that, and then bang, suddenly I'm drafting a defensive tackle. But he also looked insane, so I don't blame myself for getting caught up in the athleticism. I think I'm starting to see it more for Al Davis. Starting to see what he was all about. Is there any team here with multiple 2s? I'm not seeing it currently, but maybe. Another big trade, Joshua Williams on the move. We're trading our second round pick, a future 5 and a future 7 for a second and a third this year from Green Bay. So we get 42 and 70 something. And the linebacker actually is still available. I thought there was going to be a pretty good chance he would go off the board. But I think that's actually going to be my pick here. There's still a number of corners I want. There's still a number of really good players down the board that I think would make a ton of sense for us. And did he go off the board? Did I miss it? Oh, he was a 36th pick. It was the pick I traded out of. So they traded up for the player I was going to draft. Okay, that's cool. Okay, all right. They got me. They got their value back for it, though. Nice. Not going to risk it. We're going to take Marquise Thomas here. Got A-man, B-press, B-zone, B-catching for a round 2 to 3 talent with elite jumping. Great everything else except for only decent strength. Oh, no. He is 5'10", my instant starting slot corner. Marquise Thomas is the selection. That was a good decision, it turns out. He is the #1 player in the draft. We got him at 42. High football IQ, plenty of good man coverage film, can be trusted with a variety of zone coverage concepts. Hidden dev, 94 speed, 93 acceleration, change of direction, and jumping, and 90 agility. Marquise Thomas is an excellent pick. And maybe I would have drafted Mike Widener if he were still available, and Thomas goes before our next selection. So that was a good one. We just got the #1 player in the draft. We also have 65 and 74. And there are still players I like quite a bit. And Duckworth is still here, who was the linebacker I was considering at that point. Need a little bit more depth here. I think Duckworth is going to be the guy. B pursuit, A tackle, B zone coverage, great speed. Very good player overall for this area. The dichotomy of a GM, man. Ranked 154, we got him at 65. He's got hidden dev. He's a slow linebacker in today's game. He's got 84 speed, 86 acceleration. How slow is he? Not that slow. And he's got hidden dev. He looks all right. I don't know. I'm not too mad about it. And we might be in a position to trade down again because we're in the 3rd round. I liked some of the day 3 tight ends. Either Sanchez or Ramirez would be a good pick. I like Jamal Huff as a day 3 guy, but we're not even a day 3 yet. And then there's that elephant in the room. Literally, this guy's a 6'5" corner. And Jose Smith also looks kind of insane for a day 3 guy. He looks more than kind of insane. And he looks familiar. There are a lot of interesting corners in this class. I mean, a lot of interesting corners. I mean, one of those guys could move back to safety, obviously. I don't really know exactly what we want to do here. Some of the best players I like are not even favorites for me anymore. We're going to avoid defensive tackle, probably. When is Logan Tatum going to go? 6'5", 317. Tell me that's not maybe my future tackle. I don't know. That could be. This is an interesting spot to be. We know about round 2 to 3 talents. I honestly think we could do better than that. I think this might be a trade down spot. I talked about that as a possibility. I think that might be what happens next. I could use like, you know, a couple of round 4 picks, maybe. Kind of a weird trade here, but I like this draft class a lot. We are trading a 3rd this year and in 2029 for 2 3s from Denver. So we're picking up 77 and 96. We also have 97. And we can now start drafting. We're going to start drafting a little bit more liberally now because we have some more swings. And I mean, I didn't really think about another running back. I think he looks decent, but I think we're fine with Nick Singleton as a backup. We spent a pretty high pick on a running back already. Don't need another edge rusher. I think we're going to pull the trigger here on another corner. I think that's the best thing we can do. I like Jose Smith and Benji Butler a lot. We're going to go Benji Butler here because it's such a unique archetype of player that I've really never seen before. 6'5", 180 at corner. A man, A press. Decent enough athlete, nothing crazy. Kind of a weird player, but I've got to see what we have. He's ranked number 68. We got him at 77. He's got normal dev, 88 speed and acceleration, but he is 6'5". He didn't look as good as the other corner, but it is interesting. I was hoping for a better dev trait than what we ultimately ended up having. And then I'm not really recognizing any of the names here other than maybe Mason Duggan for players I was moderately interested in. We've got back-to-back picks. We will be taking, I think, another corner because Jose Smith looks incredible. We've got to draft him. Our secondary's been completely revamped. He's the number 6 player in the draft. We got him at 96. 90 picks later. Plays with good football IQ and recognition. Great footwork to mirror routes and man coverage. Quick to digest and respond in zone coverage. He's only got normal dev, but a very good athlete. He is a top 6 player in the entire draft. And he looks bald as hell, except now that we're seeing him, he's got dreadlocks. Through those fairly quickly, I guess. We're done in the secondary now. Some could potentially move back to safety. And we've got to decide what the next most important thing is. Still would like to draft Logan Tatum. I think I'm going to pull the trigger on what looks to be kind of a random tight end, but somebody we can develop from a good tight end school at Stanford, Taylor Sanchez. A to C catching traffic, C catching, A deep route running, but very good athlete, including elite change of direction, great speed. Taylor Sanchez may not start right away, but has a chance to start, I think, at some point. He's ranked number 76. We got him at 97. Too fast for linebackers. Makes 50-50 balls look like 80-20 balls, but apparently has average hands at best. Only normal development, 86 speed, 88 acceleration. I still think a pretty good value selection as we will simulate to the 5th round. I still think there's going to be a lot of value on the board here. I think Logan Tatum's just going to be the pick because to me, he, from early on, looked like somebody I really thought we needed to target. Could end up starting a tackle. Logan Tatum is the guy, ranked number 77. Got him at 129. Only normal development, unfortunately. Stings a lot more to see that at offensive tackle than some other positions where you can really get those upgrades. We move on to the 6th. Still have that punter on the board. Is this Jason Creighton? He's 6'4", 355 with A finesse moves. That's interesting, if nothing else. We're going to go with another defensive tackle. Jason Creighton is the move. Maybe he wasn't. Ranked number 280. We got him at 161. Normal development. He's just gigantic and can rush the passer a bit. But far from special. And our last pick's going to be a punter. Let's draft him. Donovan Cochran from Minnesota. A lot of experience punting. Ranked 103, got him at 193. Tremendous leg, coffin corner specialist, hidden dev with 94 kick power. All right, not mad about it. And that is going to be our draft. I think we did very well overall. Kind of a weird draft, but we did very well. There's a 76 overall kicker. Would I prefer him to Joey Sly? Not at first glance. Not at first glance. Donovan Cochran's only a 70. He may not even make the team. There's Mean Joe Green. I don't think we're going to be doing anything here in undrafted rookie free agency. Let's go ahead and take a look at the draft recap. I think we did pretty well. DeMarcus Kirkland's a 78. 78 for Nobles. Unfortunately, normal dev, but he's our best running back now. It's an upgrade over Tajay Spears already, considering he's only 22 years old. 92 juke move right away. 91 change of direction. Love to see that. We have a 74 overall for Reggie Felder. Good developmental piece. And he's got 86 speed. 85 strength. 85 tackle. 78 finesse moves. I think a lot better than your typical 74 overall. Marquise Thomas, we got in the second round, also is an 80. Jose Smith is a 78. There were some misses, but a lot more hits. And if you look at the top of the draft, we got the number 1 player. We got Tied for the number 3 overall player. We got another top 5 talent. I mean, look at this, dude. We got out of the top guys, it goes from 78 to 80 overall. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. That's a crazy eye hit rate. Madrano's a 77, so he was actually quite good. A lot of good interior defensive linemen went off the board. Cole Hayward was pretty good. And then the linebacker that I wanted, Mike Widener, ended up being a 74 overall. Does have 91 speed, though. Yeah, he looks like a freak. But I think we did great. It's hard to really be upset about the way things turned out. Fernando Carmona gets the dev trait upgrade. He now has superstar dev. Okay. I did wide receiver battle with the tight end, the rookie that we drafted, because I'm like, if he gets the dev trait upgrade, if he gets a big boost, it's going to make the biggest impact over the rookie receiver. Didn't end up happening, but that's okay. I kind of think Reggie Felder needs to be the trench battle guy because Keldrick Falk is developing really well. Super young player. He's going to end up being good. Oladejo is good now. John Franklin Myers could end up being traded. Reggie Felder's physical ceiling, or his physical tools, are so great, which I think magnifies his ceiling, and he could be a monster in a year or two. Year 2 is upon us, and I'm expecting a lot more production this year. This is what the team looks like. Jamie Noble's ready to go. Josh Nobles is ready to go. Shout out Jamie Noble. If you know, you know. That's all the WWE I got for you. Eric Rayweather in the chat will love that. But we are going to start the rookie. Taylor Sanchez, 86 speed, 88 acceleration, developing as a player. And I think the fact that he's already higher overall than Daniel Bellinger and Gunnar Helm means he should be the starter. And he's younger than both. Defensively, yeah, we got Duckworth, but it's really going to be Hill and Gray as our sub linebackers. We got to put that to how it needs to be. Cedric Gray is not going to be a rush end. It's going to be Keldrick Falk. We've got really no need to have him as a rush D tackle. In real life, I hope he does that, but here, John Franklin Myers, and maybe the most interesting player on the entire team, Reggie Felder. The rookie out of Miami has 86 speed, 86 tackle, 85 strength. Block shed power moves not bad, 81 finesse moves. Hit power is good, pursuit is good. How is this guy only a 76 overall? Seems crazy. Want to get him on the field, but at the same time, do we want to start him over John Franklin Myers? Maybe a decision we make closer to the trade deadline. We'll see what happens with that. But Cedric Gray is going to be here. And, I mean, Nobles is just going to be the lead back in all regards. It's not going to be Kalel Mullings. If we've got any chance of winning Rookie of the Year, Nobles needs to be on the field as much as possible. I feel like he's going to suck in Sim, but it should only get better as he gets better. You know what? He did get signed in real life, but not updated by the time we got this Titans rebuild underway. Peter Skoronski looking for an extension. Let's just start here. I think in real life he is the highest paid guard of all time, but this is a better starting point for me. And he wants so much more money, which makes sense because in real life he got so much more money. He is team first. You know, I'm noticing a trend about some of those guys. I'm not going to say my theory yet, but I am noticing a trend. Let's see, let's increase the bonus. He wants a lot more money. So if we want him, we're going to have to keep adding money. I don't mind a 5-year deal, though, so I'm down to potentially increase the length of the contract, and I'll raise the salary and the bonus by $1 million each. That's not really that significant, and Peter Skoronski, I think, will be signing on. 5 years, $33.8 million in total salary. That average yearly is under 12 mil. The bonus is under 25 mil. That's a pretty good deal. I think that's less than what he got in real life, so can't be too mad about it. I thought after a 3-0 start, we may never lose again, and then the Buffalo Bills happened. And that was, you know, a similar story actually in Silence of the Lambs. Coaches are expecting a breakout potentially from Cam Ward. 300 plus passing yards and 3 plus passing touchdowns in the next game. That is unlikely to happen. I'm going to give him a 3-game goal, and maybe that's more doable. A 3-1 start here is fantastic. Now, our offensive points per game is actually not very high, but our defense has been absolutely exceptional. So the whatever offense has been able to be fine so far. We will simulate to the midseason mark. Actually, no, we won't, because I got to potentially see if Cam Ward's going to go up in development trade, so never mind about that. But we are going to simulate in that direction. And hopefully Cam Ward could have some transcendent performances over the next few weeks and put us in a position for that big development trade upgrade. We are 5-1. Wins over the Colts and Texans, scoring 30-plus points in both. And now we've got the 6-0 Tampa Bay Bucks. It's the second best defense, or excuse me, the second best offense in the league against one of the best defenses in the Tennessee Titans. And we're actually averaging 118 rushing yards per game. That's pretty good. And nearly 300 passing yards per game. Cam Ward is leading the league in passing yards. Also 10 touchdowns. Even if he doesn't get the dev trade upgrade right now, if he leads the league in passing yards, who's to say Cam Ward is not going to end up winning MVP? We are 6-1, and we're also not having any type of a pop-up about him getting upgraded, so I guess that didn't happen. He's no longer leading the league in any stat. What a run, though. What a run. Week 8. We've got some options to potentially throw in the trade block. Nobody's trading for Tommy Townsend, so stop that. No one's really trading for any of these guys. Maybe Tony Adams. I look at the roster, though. I'm pretty comfortable with the players that we have. Cedric Gray is an expiring contract. Would like to extend him and re-sign him. Nobody else is really expiring except for Townsend, who stinks. Or is a punter who doesn't really matter for me. And this team, this rebuild is going quite well. And we are flying through. If we're going to be 6-1 here in season 2, I feel like we're untouchable right now. In fact, we could even consider trading for somebody at the trade deadline, which is at week 9. I'm sure we're going to lose to the Cardinals somehow. We didn't. 37-30. We just keep winning. This is another level of performance so far. Quick midseason stat check. Cam Ward is 4th in the NFL in passing yards. It's over 2,000 right now. 13 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. This is probably the best performance I've ever seen from a sub-80 overall running back. Josh Nobles, on 115 attempts, has over 600 yards, 5.6 per carry, and 5 touchdowns. Nick Singleton's killing it as a backup as well. Josh Nobles has been fairly incredible so far. He's been everything we could have ever wanted and then some. So yeah, for a normal development player in the first round, it doesn't seem so great, but he might go up in dev trade already. Wandale's cooking. Still looking for that first tight end from Taylor Sanchez. And then defensively, we've been so good. Is it a function of the pass rush? Doesn't really seem to be anything crazy. Not really forcing a ton of interceptions. Shout out Ant Hill with the 2 picks, though. We just have the best offense in the league, somehow. And our defense, in terms of yards, is not amazing, but in terms of points, incredible. This is a heck of a season here. I don't know what's happening, but chaos. I mean, the Dolphins lock in key playmaker Teteroa McMillan. What's going on, man? Well, they traded him this week. There you go. Teteroa McMillan's been traded to the Dolphins. Are the Dolphins good? No, they are 1-7. Maybe Teteroa McMillan is what it takes to run the table and win out and maybe make the playoffs. Okay, dude. I mean, this is... Madden 27 is certainly one of the Maddens of all time. For sure it is. Goodness. Playoff time is here. We are surely a playoff team. Went 13-4, which should be, I mean, cause for great celebration. And it is. It is. But we lost 3 of our final 5 games. to the Jaguars, Saints, and even to the Dolphins. Dude, the Dolphins were 1-7 last time I saw you guys. They finished 4-13, and one of their wins was over the 13-4 Tennessee Titans. Crazy. Cam Ward, though, unreal year. 4,800 yards, 31 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, rating close to 100. Phenomenal rookie year for Josh Nobles. 1,248 yards, 4.8 per carry, 10 touchdowns. Did fumble 5 times. Little rookie Adrian Peterson thing going on there. And also, like, after rookie year as well. Little rookie Tiki Barber. 99 juke move. Josh Nobles is playing up to an 88 overall. He's an 85 overall already. I don't care if he's got superstar dev or not. He's playing like he does have it. He's upgrading like he does have it. Carnell Tate, 1,500 yards on 100 plus catches, 10 touchdowns. Wandale, close to the century mark as well. 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns. DeMarcus Kirkland was very good as a rookie. Yet who's talking about him? Because he was the third most productive receiver on this team. Taylor Sanchez ended up having a very good year. I mean, this team is not only playing so well, they're developing so well. Dan Moore's awful. I mean, maybe we should have traded for a left tackle. Anthony Hill had a lot of tackles, 6 for loss. 25 for loss would lead the team, though, for Jeffrey Simmons. 21 for Oladejo's crazy. 17 for JFM. 11 for Gray and Falk with 13 sacks, which led the way. 10.5 for Oladejo. 9 for Simmons. 6 for JFM. The rookie Reggie Felder had 4.5. That's good. And we forced more turnovers than before, including 2 picks by the rookie Marquise Thomas. And Hill and Amani Hooker also had 2, Flott with 1. Forced some fumbles too. Reggie Felder forced 2. Cedric Gray recovered 4 of them. He was all over. 5th most yards offensively. 3rd most yards, or 3rd fewest yards allowed. We've got the first round bye in the AFC. We scored the 2nd most points per game, and we allowed the 10th fewest points per game. But our offense, I mean, we're averaging 30 points per game. Completely took off. We're running the ball well. We're throwing the ball really well. And now we face one of the worst passing attacks in the game. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are coming to Tennessee. We are an 87 overall. We're a better overall than the Ravens are. I mean, what an unbelievable season we're having here in 2027. We're going to simulate the first round of the playoffs because it's only season 2. And they would end our season 26-17. Not great. Maybe should have jumped in, but it was only the divisional. But will we be able to complete the Super Bowl run in the next season? Will we be able to match the same magic of 2027? That could be very tough to do. This kind of felt like the season of destiny. And unfortunately, we're going to see like a 1975 Super Bowl. Cowboys, Steelers. Man, I kind of thought this was going to be the year. But what you got to remember is this team is only going to get better now. Cam Ward up to superstar development after an incredible season. So that's going to be huge. Got some superstar abilities now. Carnell Tate up to superstar dev. The fact that Nobles and Sanchez did not get upgraded feels crazy to me. How does Josh Nobles not have better than normal development right now? Defensively, Jeffrey Simmons is up to X Factor. Anthony Hill's up to superstar. This team has only gotten better. Like, we might be the Super Bowl favorite. I know we were a divisional first round elim for us, but we might be the Super Bowl favorite heading into the next season. And that could actually help us out a lot in free agency. We might be able to land some star players that care about winning. Well, now Tennessee could be the place to do it. Jonathan Taylor turned us down last year. That was maybe for the best because we have a superstar, or normal dev, but a superstar rookie, now 2nd year running back. The Steelers have won their 7th Super Bowl. And that is a crazy amount to have. Robert Saleh, Coach of the Year. No Titans in there anywhere, unfortunately. T. Higgins, Offensive Player of the Year. And the Bengals, who spent so much money in free agency, also drafted well. Had the Defensive Rookie of the Year at linebacker, Colin Gibson. But great year, too. Didn't expect to be in this position at all. At all. Will absolutely pick up the 5th-year option for Cam Ward. It's going to be expensive, but we'll keep him under contract. He's not going anywhere. And we will, I think, make a really strong push to win the Super Bowl in 2028. We need a big offseason to get it done. We need a big offseason. Let's go. So we're going to be done with free agency. There's just really not anyone that really appeals to me at this point. And everyone's going to be overpriced. Everyone that we could potentially sign isn't necessarily good enough to even play on the team. You know, they would be displacing someone even if they are a higher overall. They'd be displacing someone with higher potential, which means higher dev trait, younger, whatever it happens to be. So I quite like where the team is right now. We have an obvious need at left tackle. An upgrade over Dan Brown. I like where defensive tackle is, even though it seems like one of the weaker positions, but Felder is going to end up playing over JFM. I think our secondary is looking quite good. Just missing maybe that true CB1. And it's not Cordell Flott, although he's okay. He could potentially move back to safety and play over Amani Hooker. Like, maybe safety could be upgraded, linebacker potentially, but we're really only seeing 2 linebackers play most of the time. And I have added some prospects I'm quite excited about. And finally, I keep talking about it. We haven't seen one until now. One of the 6'8" behemoths, or even 6'9", 360 pounds or so at left tackle. We saw a couple in the Dolphins rebuild, I want to say. And finally, we get one again. Now, the run blocking maybe isn't amazing, but the strength is going to be like high 90s. I've seen this archetype quite a few times. He's going to be someone that can start at left tackle probably now. I also tagged Victor Daniels because he looks quite good for a round 3 to 4 talent. The pass blocking might not be exceptional, but athletically quite good. And then the core attributes are pretty good as well. More of a finesse player than a power player, but that's okay when the run block finesse appears to be really high and the pass block finesse is really high. There was also a center that I thought looked quite good, but not really necessarily in the market for an interior offensive lineman right now. And we're only going to have so many picks to make, the team better. Probably does not make sense to waste it on a backup offensive lineman if they don't have a chance to start at tackle. That's what we're looking for. And if we were going to upgrade at linebacker, Quentin Brown is slightly undersized, only 5'11", 220 pounds from Penn State. Is a pass coverage archetype, but a pursuit, a tackle, a zone coverage. Overall, elite athleticism with everything factored in. You get a awareness, tackle, zone coverage, pursuit, everything. Just a really, really good player. We're also not really in a position to draft a corner, but Adrian Walton looks like a very good corner. A press, a zone. Man coverage is probably not amazing, but he is an amazing athlete. So if we decide that, hey, corner is an elite and Adrian Walton is an elite player, I guess that's an option, but not one that I'm heavily considering. But if we can find left tackle down the board, which I'm confident that we can, we have everything we need on offense, including tight end. And then defensively, it is maybe just a guy in the secondary. So maybe it is a cornerback, as we will move on to the NFL Combine and Pro Days. We're going to do super focused scouting. And then we are going to do the NFL Draft, setting up for a Season 3, building off a tremendous Season number 2. And the bad thing about adding players to your favorites list is that the game thinks you want those guys at your top draft position. That's not necessarily the case. We have the 18th pick, where we are expected to take the center Aaron Burnham. And we also have the 27th pick. We could potentially consider moving up, but our picks are not insanely high. So if we're going to, It could take a tremendous amount. Also, there is an Iowa tight end. I mean, he is fairly incredible. I guess it's an option. And we found out Adrian Walton, as a focus player, does have B-Man, and he is a top 5 player in the draft, and maybe even the number 1 player. Knowing that he has B-Man coverage and ran 4.24 at his pro day, 4.28 at the combine, is also incredibly agile. Look at that 3-cone and the short shuttle. His agility testing was phenomenal. Man, do we try and move up for a corner? I mean, it's maybe not the worst idea. What about the tight end? Matt Gilmore is also a top 5 talent. Oh boy, also an elite athlete. If we want both, it's not gonna be easy. I know that. And Victor Daniels was the other one. He's around 2 to 3 talent. I mean, it's good for the spot, but it's not like, oh my goodness, we have to draft that guy. We have to. Okay, we're gonna pause the draft. I am potentially gonna get extremely aggressive here, because why not? We just had a crazy year. We still have a quarterback on a fairly reasonable contract. Says we need a strong safety. Well, we can figure that out. We have 18, 27, 52, 59, 78, 91. I think trading our 2030 first round pick is going to be a really good idea. It also says we need a center, which I don't really agree with. Kendrick Elliott is the first pick. I thought the edge rushers in this class looked really good. There goes Antoine Mayweather. They didn't look like, you know, top 5 talents or anything, but they did look really good overall. And I'm going to hope that the Jags do not take the corner. They go with another edge rusher, Marquis Wagner from Nevada. And the Panthers find themselves on the board at number 5 overall. I'm going to try to acquire this pick. The Panthers do have 2 first-round picks. I would like to trade future picks because we, I think, have a window right now. It's obviously going to cost a lot more than just a future first, but maybe I don't really want to give up any of my firsts this year. But I would give up, I don't know, I'd give up at least a second. 59, and that's not going to get us there either. Might have to end up being a player, which the Panthers can afford. The game thinks we need a center. I don't necessarily agree. Who's got the most value that I would actually like to trade? Amani Hooker, maybe? They can't fully afford that contract. I'd love to get rid of Hooker at this point. And also Dan Moore. More Hooker. Not actually a good idea here. The Bengals, by the way, are in the negative. And so are a lot of teams, by the way. It's not just them, but I did want to point that out. Okay, this is the trade we're going to make. I don't even know if this is necessarily a good trade for us, but Amani Hooker, Benji Butler, the 6'5 corner that's not really great. A third in 2 years and a third this year for a second-round pick from Arizona. So my thought process here is that this is a trade piece, right? If we're going to move all the way up, we need all that we can do to make that happen. And if we're about to potentially draft a corner, well, we could definitely part with one of these. I think I'd like to keep Flott, but Alante Taylor in his massive contract in the final year of his deal, he can go. Just need to find a partner that actually wants him, and very few teams can afford that contract because most teams are way over the cap right now and into the negative. The Chargers are not one of those teams, though. Give me a second-round pick. All right, there might be something here. And then we're going to unload a contract. Not that it really matters, I guess, but Dan Moore and number 59 is going to the Chargers for number 53. It's one of the stranger trade-ups that there's ever been, but it does get us a slightly higher pick, I guess. Okay, 45 and 2 4s is going to get me number 34 from Cincinnati. I mean, what's the hell is his name? Sonny Dykes? Nope, that's TCU head coach. Sonny something from the movie Draft Day. It's a bad movie, but it's a guilty pleasure. But anyway, I think that higher second round pick is going to be what it takes to get this deal done. And this is the splash trade. We are trading a first round pick in 2030, a second and a third this year. The second is number 34 overall to move up with the Panthers. We're getting their first round pick this year and a third next year. So I wanted to get some value back, but what we do here is put ourselves in a position to draft what could be the best player in the draft at number 5 overall. It's Adrian Walton, a corner from Georgia, 6'1", 196, 22 years old, A press, A zone, B man coverage, absolutely elite, incredible athleticism. He will be the pickup. Adrian Walton is the number 2 overall player in the draft. Got him at number 5. Speed, speed, speed. Sticky and man coverage. Okay. Can be trusted with a variety of zone coverage concepts. He has hidden development, 98 speed, 92 acceleration, 93 agility, 92 change of direction, and 90 jumping. This is our lockdown corner. Not really like on an island necessarily, kind of more of like a press bail type of guy, I guess. But it says he's sticky in man coverage, maybe just not absolutely elite. More of just a great feel for zone, which isn't a bad thing to have. As nice as it is to have a corner that is really, really good in man coverage, you also have to understand that the defense that runs the most man in the league is somewhere like 30%, I want to say. It's a zone league. And I also want to potentially draft a tight end. So how do we get in position for Matt Gilmore is the next problem. I actually had a trade pretty much lined up to send Taylor Sanchez to Carolina, but it ended up just not having to happen because of the other draft pick trade that gave us number 34 overall. You know, I have a plan of how I want to approach this draft. Getting the corner was number 1. As soon as we knew he was a top 5 talent, it had to be done. Matt Gilmore, we also know, obviously, is a top 5 talent, but I like Quentin Brown as well. In the second round, that would be pretty nice, but don't know when he's expected to go. Don't necessarily want to miss out. Not the end of the world if we do, but we can't get everybody. And if he's not a first round pick, you know, he's going to be gone at the top of the second for sure. We just had 34 and traded it away. So we got some things to figure out. And the next one is, how do I acquire that Broncos pick? Although, has there already been a trade? The Broncos have 14. And I thought they had 12. The Broncos have 14 now. The Chiefs, I guess, traded up. We're missing some picks in here. I don't know what's going on with the order. The Chiefs traded back from 7. Is that what happened? The Raiders have 7 now. I don't know what's happening with the draft order. I'm really not sure. I don't really want to have to trade into the top 10. I don't think the Jets would draft a tight end here. They don't. But it is the Rams. Now, the Rams, of course, don't need a tight end, but they could totally draft one. So we might want to make a phone call. We have 18 overall. We can make something happen here. And we're basically doing the Rams strategy of getting off our draft picks in the first place, but we're also not doing the Rams strategy because we're not trading them for established players. We're trading them for other picks. Okay, this trade's going to be accepted. We're trading 18 and a 2 for number 11. And that is going to be for a tight end, a top 5 talent in the draft, Matt Gilmore out of Iowa. 6'2", 248. A little bit short, I guess, for a tight end. Although 250 pounds is like pretty fine. Really good athlete. And like very good also at playing football. I mean, look at all the A grades. Awareness, break tackle, carrying, catching traffic, catching, deep route running, medium route running, pass blocking. Can't really run block very much, and that's really what we'd need him for. A short route running, a spectacular catch, a stiff arm. Matt Gilmore, you are a Tennessee Titan and the number 1 player in the draft. Soft, reliable hands. You got soft hands, brother. Excellent speed, though, for a tight end, and shows great concentration, catching in traffic. Hidden development, 90 speed, 87 acceleration and agility, 85 jumping. If I see an Iowa tight end, I'm drafting them. They're typically pretty good. And now, simulating to number 27 overall, I really didn't want to part with this pick, and I guess Quentin Brown's the reason why. I mean, shout out Hoobastank, I guess. The reason is you, Quentin Brown. A pursuit, A tackle, A zone coverage. He'll be a good sub linebacker. Elite acceleration, agility, change of direction, great speed, although only ran in the low to mid 4.6s. Not elite or even great for a modern linebacker at all, especially not one that's 220 pounds. But it will be my pick here at the back end of the first. Whoa, he's ranked number 71. We got him at 27. Sure tackler, looks comfortable when dropping in his own coverage. Instincts will need to make up for lack of speed, even though you told me he had great speed. He does have hidden dev, but 84 speed, 89 agility, 91 acceleration's good. I mean, he'll be a nice third linebacker, but is he even better than the third linebacker we have right now? I don't think so. Second round now. I mean, is there anyone we need to draft? Probably not. Easton Carr is a good power back with actually like quite good speed. We've got Nick Singleton as the backup. I don't think I'm necessarily looking to add a running back right now. And maybe I spoke too soon. Christian Meredith is a round 1 talent. A ball carrier vision, A break tackle, A carrying. Also is a good athlete. I mean, round 1 talent now has me intrigued. That's a little bit different. We know we don't need to draft Bautista for a while. I did like the look of Reggie Mallard at linebacker. See, he's only got good speed and poor acceleration, but I'm sure he's going to have better overall speed than the linebacker we just drafted. A hit power, A block shed. Very different type of linebacker. The running back is like pretty intriguing to me though, because he's a round 1 guy. He is 24 years old, but I don't really care about that if he can help us win right this second, which he might be able to. He's not going to be an 80 overall, most likely. But Nick Singleton is a 79 and only a 71 overall power back. So for someone that we can just throw into the power back spot, he might actually be worth the selection. And the guy was like, where is Peter Skoronski? He's like, I'm going to play tackle now. You're not. I appreciate the tenacity, though. Reminds me a lot of Tony Adams in that way. Seattle will give me 56 right now, a 3rd next year, and a 5th the year after that. The Niners will give me 57 right now, a 3rd next year, and a 5th next year, and a 6th next year. I'll do that. Just more picks is better. That logic makes sense to me. And Easton Carr is off the board. It goes at number 55. That's totally okay. And I think, maybe we'll look to trade down again, but probably we'll just stick and pick here. Although, do I think that round 1 running back is going to make it till the 3rd? I actually do. I actually do think so. I'm getting an offer for 65 plus some day 3 picks here this year and next year from Miami. I'm going to accept that. And we'll see if we can end up getting the running back that I want. Hopefully not off the board. That'd be a little bit annoying. And oh, he's off the board. Unreal how that happened. Could have expected that, I suppose. Was it worth it for the extra picks in the end? Probably not. I guess it was a gamble that didn't pay off. Do I want to draft another tight end here? This one can actually really run block. Let's do it. Let's go Nick Cologne instead. Ranked 59, got him at 65. NFL ready pass catcher with receiver speed at tight end, strong hands to make catches through contact, hidden development, 86 speed and acceleration, and we know he can run block. So that's something. And look at our future picks, man. We've refilled the picks we traded away essentially by trading down, which was always the strategy. They're just from Carolina, San Francisco, Miami, San Francisco, San Francisco. All these from Miami. I'm not really too upset about losing out on the running back because we have Nick Singleton. We already, of course, have a star running back in Josh Nobles who should have better than normal dev. So I think tight end was probably the move. And Taylor Sanchez, if I want another running back, could be used to get me another running back. I know we have like 4 or 5 tight ends that could make the roster now. With the 2 we just drafted, plus Sanchez, plus Gunnar Helm. 4 tight ends is not crazy to have. I don't pick again until 187. I simply just don't like that. I'm going to package a future 3rd to move back up. Just to guarantee that I can get who I want, pretty much. Will the Bears give me 72? They will not even consider it. I don't need 70. I'll take 104. Would be fine. Yeah, I'll give up a future 3rd to get a current 4. If it means... that not go through? It's a financial issue. Okay, well, like the case for every team, dude. Okay, trading 2 sixes, one this year, one in 2030, a third next year for a fourth and a fifth from Cleveland. That's going to let us do whatever we want to do here for the rest of the draft. I know we've been very, very active with making trades. Sometimes as we get deeper into the rebuilds, I do stray from complete realism for the sake of getting exactly who I want in the draft. And Adrian Bautista is exactly who I want right now. 6'8", 362, 21 years old, A pass block, A impact block, A to B awareness. Maybe not much of a run blocker, but elite strength. Will be sick. Adrian Bautista is ranked number 44. Got him at 114, and we maybe could have got him way later. College basketball for 2 years, extensive understanding of blocking schemes, great pass blocker, hidden dev, 92 strength. Thought it'd be a little bit higher than that, but I guess only 37, 40 reps at 225. Obviously insane, but not like record breaking. So I guess he doesn't get 99, but obviously a great pickup at 114. And I mean, we are set up to win a Super Bowl, I would say. Ben Fisher can be a good backup, A tackle, A power moves, projected to go undrafted. We'll take him here in the fifth. Ranked number 91, got him at 146. Hidden dev, 88 acceleration to go with those power moves. Very nice. And we're going to trade Daniel Bellinger in a future 6 for a future 3rd from Cleveland. That's kind of a no-brainer. I'm trying to think of like if there's anything we could really do here. And we don't really need much. You know, Juan or Julian Wakefield has elite kick power. We're just going to draft him off that alone. Ranked number 76, got him at 193. Shaky accuracy, does have hidden dev though. 96 kick power. That could be the replacement for Joey Sly. Although, is there a better kicker? Maybe so. Nah, he's got 89 kick power. Out on that. And again, we don't really need anything in here. We don't need anything. And this back actually looks pretty good as a receiving option. But again, don't need him. We will simulate to the end of undrafted rookie free agency frenzy. The Saints have signed everybody. Everyone's going to the NFC South. Falcons, Saints, 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 Bucks, Saints, Saints, Falcons, Saints, 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 Saints. All right, wow. All right, that's something, I guess. Draft recap. Ooh. This isn't bad. Adrian Walton is an 81 overall, 77 man, 82 zone, 78 press, which was A, whereas man coverage was a B, is a 77. 93 catching? Is this like a Travis Hunter type? I mean, 93 catching's kind of insane. It didn't say anything about that, though. So I'm going to play him anyway. He will start. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be CB2. So I am going to spoil the dev trade, I guess. Not intentionally, though. I just want to see his catching stuff. So he is a superstar X Factor. That's crazy. And he's got 77 catch in traffic, 82 spectacular catch, but no route running or release. So he is purely a corner. I feel like it's kind of cheating to reveal the dev trait. But I don't know if there's any other way to see his like receiving ability. And he can catch the ball really well. Just has elite ball skills, but is not a two-way player. But again, he will be CB2 over Cordell Flott. Matt Gilmore, on the other hand, there's no reason to check his dev trait. It feels like cheating to me. Even though it's... What does it do? It doesn't really do anything, but 86 spectacular catch is quite nice. I mean, route running is very good overall. Number 1 player in the draft for a reason. He's a freak. 73 overall for Quentin Brown's not bad. Nick Cologne's a 74. Adrian Bautista's a 75. That's already better than Dan Moore. And then Fisher and Wakefield are actually pretty good. As for the rest of the league, well, we knew that we got the number 1 and number 2 overall players in the draft. There was a very good guard. 2, actually. And then the rest... kind of receivers. Christian Meredith went at 25th in the second round. Of course, this was the back we traded out of. He was basically a top 10 talent. Yeah, he's pretty awesome, actually. Would have been a sick backup. He is 24 years old, so it's not like, oh my goodness, what a steal. He would have played over Nick Singleton immediately, but obviously would have been nice. And I didn't really, it was either him or really the 4th tight end currently on our depth chart. So I guess I for sure would have preferred the running back. So a bit of a miss there, but that happens. I would say the worst part about it is the fact that we just really didn't need another tight end. You can't even see him right now. Although I thought I was going to trade Taylor Sanchez. Now I probably just won't. Matt Gilmore also wants to talk. He's been here for a day and he wants to talk. One of the vets wants to help you develop this preseason. Yeah, all right. I mean, you are pretty insane in general. I kind of think run blocking would be the way to go. Strength and stamina doesn't feel like an awful idea, but catching's already very good. Route running's already very good. Let's make him a better run blocker. Make him a complete player. This is our undersized tight end with very good hands. Better athlete, but why can't this be Delaney Walker? Maybe it can be. Delaney Walker, by the way, 6'2", 248. Matt Gilmore, interesting. 6'2", 248. Now, I know the Titans didn't draft Delaney Walker, but hey, we got him. And then it's who wants to go back to play safety. That's going to be the next problem. I think we're going to move Kevin Winston over to strong safety. But, I mean, Flott actually profiles pretty well as a safety. Better zone than man, like somewhat significantly. Tackling isn't too bad. Block shedding and hit power is not especially good. I do have a feeling, though, that, I mean, honestly, you know what? Alontae Taylor could move back there. I had intended on trading him. Just didn't happen. Alontae Taylor could actually be a decent fit at free safety. Also, it looks like Cologne wants to improve as well. Another rookie tight end that's going to get better. We're going to improve his route running. And this is like no joke. That's like +2 to every route running. Pretty good. Also, the development trait, if I could say that, would have revealed anyway. You can see in focus players if they have X Factor or not. It doesn't say hidden, it says Zone Hawk, which is unfortunately how we find out that Matt Gilmore does not have X Factor as the #1 player in the draft, but it still may be superstar. Same for Adrian Bautista, of course. Hey, this isn't too bad. Dev trait upgrade at defensive tackle. I think for Felder is his name. That's a very nice one. And then for linebacker, I think we just keep leaning into the Ant Hill, best linebacker in the league type direction. These other guys, they're just backups. They don't need to be anything special. But if we can make Anthony Hill Jr. even more special, it's going to be the move. The thing I'll say about 98 speed, it's just so easy. That's not a great example. It's just so easy to run with absolutely everything. 98 speed is just so rare for a defensive back in this game, for sure. It's probably the fastest corner in the game. Probably the fastest defensive player in the game. And I guess he's not showing up because he's not a high enough overall in this area. But it's like only Xavier Worthy has 99 speed and only Jamison Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs have 98 among players who are 84 overall and above. So, yeah, could there be another defensive player with 98 speed? I guess it's possible, but it's super unlikely. I'm going to say he's the fastest defensive player in the league. He will be starting. We know he has superstar X Factor, not only because of looking, but also because of the training area, where it just kind of reveals it if it has X Factor. I don't mean to say it. He is a fella, I suppose. So this will be the team for season number 3. A lot of familiar names, but obviously Bautista is in here for the first time. Gilmore revealed to have superstar dev up to an 84 overall. And I'll tell you, his run blocking ability has improved quite a lot, and it should only continue to improve as he gets the feedback back from the veteran mentor. 62 run blocking is not bad, though. I think one of the nice changes they've made to Madden this year is way more opportunity for extra reps in preseason, and you can get, these big individual drills for XP and really improve your team that way. Walton, of course, has X Factor. He's going to play over Flott. Alontae Taylor is currently our starting free safety, but kind of a weak point on the team and very expensive. So if there's anywhere where I might look to improve, it would be free safety. This is how we're going to set up the rest of the team. Looks really good overall. I mean, Nick Singleton can be the third down back. That's fine. And I'm excited to see what this team can do. It looks phenomenal. And we could have been a Super Bowl team last year. Didn't end up working out that way, though. Mid-season mark, we are 4-2. We've lost so far to Philadelphia, who is undefeated. And we have lost to the Packers. So, I don't like the trend, but we did start out 4-0. Bye week coming at a good time, I guess, because there's good teams on the schedule here for the rest of the season. I think now is the time to try and upgrade over Alontae Taylor. It's clearly the weak point of the team, and maybe that's holding us back because the rest looks great. I mean, really, really awesome. It's just, hey, Alontae Taylor's not that great back there or anywhere else, to be honest. Okay, we're making a splash here. Jesse Bates is a Titan. It's a first-round pick this year, a third this year, and a second in 2031 for the rangy veteran free safety. Yes, he's 31 years old. I'm not really concerned about where Jesse Bates is going to be in a few years. I'm concerned about the level that he's going to bring to the team right now. It is a major upgrade over Alontae Taylor, and Jesse Bates is under contract for the next 3 seasons, or this season plus 2. And I'm hoping that's going to be what takes us over the top. We're already quite a good team, but I don't want to lose to Philadelphia. I don't want to lose to whoever else beat us, right? I want to Green Bay. I want to win consistently every time, and we are going to with the addition of Jesse Bates. And we're going to hold on to Alontae Taylor as well. It'll be a good backup. Is Jobity Jr. worth re-signing? And I believe that is a picture of Peter Woods. Who in the hell is Jobity Jr.? No. What is happening? We are 11-3, by the way. I simulated to week 16. And the Bengals did happen to beat us in week 15. But we are guaranteed to be a playoff team. Guaranteed. Will we get the first round bye? Maybe. Winning out will certainly help solidify that. I'm hoping so. Another really, really good season. I mean, yeah, I guess the Tennessee playbooks are just good. Even though they say it doesn't matter a ton, it definitely does. We do win out. We go 14-3, number 2 offense in points per game on both offense and defense. That's great. Our rushing attack was not so good, really, on either side. Number 21 in rushing yards per game and rushing yards per game allowed. How does that work? Weird coincidence, but the only other loss was to Cincinnati. A lot of wins, including a 50 bomb at the Jaguars. That's how you shut up a division rival in a hurry, if you can call the Jags a rival. Cam Ward led the league in passing touchdowns with 35, 4,600 yards through the air, 6 interceptions, rushing. Nice year for Josh Nobles. 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. And, I mean, he wasn't really on the field, I guess, on a lot of third down. Maybe that took his numbers down a bit. Nick Singleton kind of vulturing a lot of those touchdowns. 10 of them. He had more touchdowns somehow. But Wandale continues to crush it. 1,400 yards receiving, 15 touchdowns, 85 yards per game. Arnell Tate over 100 catches, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. DeMarcus Kirkland was very productive. Matt Gilmore had a very nice rookie season as well. He's playing up to a 90 overall. Incredible player. And then defensively, decent number of tackles, but I don't want the defense to be on the field too much. It was Reggie Felder out of Miami who led the team in tackles for loss with 19, 18 for Falk, 17 for Simmons, counting down by 1 to Oladejo, who had 16. And Oladejo also led the team in sacks with 13, 12 for Big Jeff Simmons. Falk didn't do a whole lot, but the interceptions have finally arrived. Jesse Bates with 6. Who knows how many of those came with us? And look at the rookie Adrian Walton. 4 interceptions, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 93 total tackles. Nuts. 4 picks for Marquise Thomas, 2 for Winston, 1 for Gray and Flott. This secondary is now elite. And Adrian Walton is playing up to a 91 overall. His man cover skills have now surpassed his zone coverage. 93 man, 88 zone, both playing up +2. 86 press. He is incredible. You see why we had to go up and get him. Couldn't have known Superstar X Factor, of course, which certainly helps, but he was going to be insane whether he had normal dev or Superstar X Factor. He was just that level of player. We do have a first round bye. We're playing up to a 93 overall as a team. We will not be a first round elimination this time around. We will rematch the Raiders. Last time we played the Raiders, we beat them 23-17. It was a close one, but we've proven that we can already beat them. So let's just go out and do it again. Big overall advantage. 93-86. Let's just get to the AFC Championship, please. All right, let's show us what you got here. Well, we're losing currently, but we've tied things up at 3. That's a long touchdown to make it 10-3. Raiders have tied it right back up, though, and then another long touchdown. A ton of big plays either way. There's 41 yards from Ashton Genty, and a lot is happening here. It suddenly turned into a punt fest, and the Raiders are suddenly driving, trying to take the lead, and they just might. No, only a field goal. So we keep the lead, and we need the offense to keep moving here. Feed Nick Singleton. Feed whoever it has to be. DeMarcus Kirkland for 21. Noble's going the wrong direction. We get some of it back, and it'll be 4th and 2. I think we leave the offense out there. I think we do. It's a bold call, but I think it's the right one. Obviously, we can go up and make it, not a field goal game. They would need the touchdown, but if we get the touchdown, they might be out of reach here, potentially, especially if we go for 2. But we got to get the first down first. I'd like Wandale to get open. He doesn't. I think we go to the tight end, and Gilmore cannot make the catch. It ended up being more contested than I would have liked. Gilmore just couldn't make the play. I wanted Wandale on the slant. He just never really ended up getting as open as I would have wanted. I mean, I think Gilmore makes... I mean, how late were we, though? It wasn't super late. It just ended up getting covered. Do we really wait for Wandale? That might just be good defense by the Raiders. 5:35 to play. Any type of points will give them the lead. Although a safety would be unlikely. I don't know that that would give them the lead if they get safetied. I think probably not. So let's play aggressive then. Nice tackle by Anthony Hill. They're going to throw, and somehow that's caught. He's going to run. No, Mendoza's going to run. Big hit, Anthony Hill, but it's a first down. We need to force a turnover. Like, they're committed to running the football, but if we can get a sack, if we can get Mendoza to the ground, that could pretty much end this drive. We need a big play like that. We're going to get aggressive. And that's play action, and that's going to be a big play probably. Yeah, 7-8 yards. It's not great. I don't know if I like Anthony Hill versus Brock Bowers in man coverage here, but we're going to try it. Running with it. Nice defense as well. Oh, it's Marquise Thomas breaking it up. And the Raiders will punt. 4th and 3. I get that you have 3 timeouts here, but this feels like a bold punt call, knowing that if you don't play perfect defense, you may never touch the ball again, and your season will be over in an instant. And this is exactly what's happening, by the way. The Raiders are down to their final timeout. I mean, they can call it, but it's not really going to help them out a tremendous amount. Just an inch or two will send us to the AFC Championship. Nobles has good speed. They do have an X Factor lined up in the slot there. We're going to run in his direction, though, and that is a mistake. Inches to go. A toss, a pitch. Those are high risk, high reward type of plays. If we got to the edge there, we end the game guaranteed. But when you're inches away, probably not a bad idea to just, go halfback, fullback dive, quarterback sneak. Although Kirkland to the outside, and Kirkland will take us down to the 22. And we will have a decision to make on 4th and 1 as the time continues to tick down. We're going with kind of a close Bunch on that right side. We will run the ball, and Nobles cannot get there. Unbelievable. Is that Quay Walker to save the season for the Raiders? Yes, I understand we could have taken the 3 points, and then the Raiders would need a touchdown, no timeouts, and the same amount of time to go. But instead, we try to end the game, and it might end our season. Mendoza will spike the ball, 47 seconds, no timeouts. Mendoza wants to run probably. That's a bad decision. I mean, it makes it convertible on 4th down, but that clock is going to continue to tick. With that being said, though, they only need 3. So the game is on the line right here, right now. If they can't get a first down, the game's over, and it's knocked down by Jeffrey Simmons. The Tennessee Titans are headed back to the AFC Championship. More stressful than it probably needed to be. No, it was Felder, excuse me. Reggie Felder was the one who got a hand on it. And it'll be victory formation for the Titans. We will be 1 win away from playing for a Super Bowl. Let's go get it done. And it will be the Denver Broncos. They're an 88 overall. Really held up by their defense, only an 85 overall offense. Yeah, I mean, we're way better. Let's go Titans. It's a decent start, but I like how the defense just put us in a great position to win this game. Well, they did, until allowing Cortland Sutton to go for 30. RJ Harvey for 21 on the rush before. And then Jonah Coleman finished it off. But we've really dominated offensively. And I'm sure we're about to punch this in. Honestly, let's see it in action. 3rd and goal from the 7. Cam Ward will work out of the gun. Got doubles to each side here. Ward looks to want to take off. Will throw on the run and find a receiver. Will not be his 3rd passing touchdown of the game, though, as Kirkland cannot find a way in. 4th and goal. Makes it a 20-7 lead, and the Broncos are fighting back. It's 20-14. Come on, offense. Keep it up. That's a big play. 3rd and 10 from the 15. Let's watch this one. Okay, well, I guess it wasn't anything special. Sets up the field goal on 4th and 10. This to make it 23-14. Not an awful first half. I think my expectations were a little bit higher after the 17-0 start. But this is still a good place to be. Or it was. Big play. And the Broncos have made it a 2-point ball game. And it feels like momentum is not on our side. Not at all. Oh boy. We do get the football back though. For some reason, normal is like skipping plays. I think it runs automatically. Having it on fast actually lets you see each play one by one, which doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. And I guess they punt. Super Sim's kind of broken, as is everything else on this game. It's 30-21, 33-21, and that's about going to do it here. The Tennessee Titans are headed to the Super Bowl. I believe for the first time since the game against the Rams, where, you know, that tackle was made on the 1-yard line. Absolutely heartbreaking, depending on which side you were on. 3 touchdowns for Cam Ward, 250 yards through the air. Let's win this franchise the Super Bowl. And it will be the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. The Titans have been 1 yard short about 28 years ago here in the game. 29 years ago, maybe at this point. I'm looking for the year and can't find it. Either way, a chance to win their first. Wan'Dale Robinson up to Superstar X Factor. Cam Ward up to Superstar X Factor as well. Defensively, it's just nice seeing the X Factors, but Jesse Bates had it. Simmons, I believe, had it. Walton, of course, had it. This team is very, very good. We are built to win it all. And also, we have Cochran with Superstar Dev, if you didn't know. Wakefield, who knows? I'm going to leave Singleton where he is, I think. We've got the winning formula. There's no need to mess everything up. We've got the Dallas Cowboys. They sneak into the playoffs 10-7, which is probably good enough for what, like the 4 seed or something like that. They were the 6 seed. Okay. Here we go. Super Bowl time. 1 game away. 60 minutes away from the Titans' first Super Bowl win in franchise history. Okay, Super Bowl time. Let's get it done here. This is not the start we were looking for. Struggling to find the end zone. Finally do. 7-3. 14-3 now. This is what you like to see. 17-3. Dallas trying to make that comeback. They've made it a 7-point game, but we extend our lead back to 14. Let's jump out there on defense. Dallas approaching midfield. Let's go ahead and make a play. 3rd and 10. You don't think that they would punt here if they don't get it, but let's not even give them the chance. It's an interception by Smith. Jose Smith is the one to jump in front there. This is why you want to have so many great DBs. Make the no-fly zone. Denver thought they had it. This is what it actually looks like. Jose Smith with the pick. You got a cornerback on Jake Ferguson in coverage. That's the speed advantage. Should have thrown a true jump ball if you wanted to play to the size advantage. Mistake by the Cowboys. Mistake by Dak Prescott. And it could be a mistake that stops the Cowboys from winning their first Super Bowl since the 90s. 6 minutes on the clock. Somehow we got through there. Only the 6th attempt for Josh Nobles. Super sim logic is just so stupid and bad, is what I would say. And you got 5 minutes to kill. I don't like that we're running towards their best players here, but I do like how we're running towards the advantage. We had numbers, and Josh Nobles can carry us to victory. We are less than 5 minutes away. No mistakes for 5 minutes. And we're going to be Super Bowl champions. Nobles to the outside. Has the speed. Nobles back to the inside. Nobles down inside the 5. His biggest run of the day. And Josh Nobles may have just guaranteed a Tennessee title. Honestly, playing for not a touchdown here is the best thing that we can do. We are up by 2 possessions. We can guarantee 3 so long as we just kick a field goal. 27-10 means the game is over no matter what here with 3 minutes to go. Dallas has 3 timeouts. It's just not going to be enough. They're not even going to be calling their timeouts right now. They need to be calling timeouts to have any type of a chance. Instead, they are letting precious seconds and minutes tick off the clock here. If they don't call a timeout, this play will take us down to the 2-minute warning. And they do call a timeout. End zone could have been fine. But a 3-possession game guarantees a Super Bowl win. Thanks for coming out, Cowboys. And they're going to establish the run now. That is an interesting call. Straight into the hurry up. We're approaching the 2-minute warning. I mean, you guys better get moving if you want a chance here. Dak taking his time, making some adjustments at the line, and we'll just throw it away, which is what he's doing to the season right now, coincidentally. They're just going to keep running. That feels like a peculiar choice, but all right, I guess. I'm not complaining about it. Is it completely brain dead? Yeah, sure it is. As I'm going to allow a huge touchdown here to Jake Ferguson, because I went to take away the other route, leaving that one open, and then they hit stick. You can't hit stick a tight end in this game. Is Jake Ferguson Spanish? He's got the Spanish flag on the back of his helmet as well. All right. Didn't know that. This to decide the Super Bowl. It's an onside kick. We can't recover it. Carnell Tate. What are you doing? It's like playing shortstop and pulling up your glove as the grounder goes underneath. Carnell Tate, dude. That is a big mistake. I don't think it will matter for much, as that tackle is made by the rookie Walton, and what a special player he is. But, man, I don't like that there's actually a chance here. If they score in like the next 20 seconds, which we hope that doesn't happen. Make a play. Walton got a hand on it. Let's go. Could have been the game-stealing interception, but he couldn't end up finding it in time. I tried to switch on. It just really wouldn't let me, weirdly enough. But if they score, before, a minute is up, they could actually get the ball back and call timeouts and still get the ball back with a chance to tie the game or win the game even. I don't think that's going to happen, but with their timeouts, it was a possibility at the very least. We're inside a minute, though. 57 ticks to go. Dak Prescott needing to convert a fourth down where their season is over, and their season is over. Sanchez in motion. Okay, I mean, as long as this is going to hurt the final stat line for Nobles, I'm going to be honest with you. I very quickly lost track of where the end zone was. It's a one-possession game, and the Cowboys have the ball. Touchdown and a two-point conversion, we're tied. What am I doing is a fair question. Just didn't realize exactly where we were on the field. This makes it interesting. It does that. That's for sure. Man, that end zone comes up on you quick, huh? I wouldn't worry about it. We got some playmakers. Did Ferguson get his hand out of bounds? No. 28 seconds on the clock. Dak to the end zone. Thomas is there. Thomas with the interception. Game over. Super Bowl over. Nearly my career over. I cannot believe we just had the safety to put the Cowboys in a position to tie. That's crazy. But, hey, happy. that's like weirdly almost a thought. All right, it's a thought. It's almost a sentence. But, hey, it all worked out in the end. All good in the end. Noble's going to dunk Robert Saleh with invisible Gatorade. That's always great. And the Tennessee Titans have finally won it all. The Oilers never won a Super Bowl. They moved to Tennessee to become the Tennessee Oilers for like a year or so. And then they settled on the Tennessee Titans. And they have honestly been close to the Titanic. Sinking season after sinking season. They've had the #1 overall pick at least once. But they've been near the top a lot. Have had a couple of good seasons, have made some AFC championships, made the Super Bowl obviously in 2000 against the greatest show on turf Rams, and was unfortunately they were unfortunately a yard short in the end, and that'll do it. But here we come out on top. Tennessee Titans, Super Bowl champions, and from my perspective, from my point of view, this is one of the worst outros I've ever given to a video. Learn to speak, doofus. See you in the next one. Take it easy.